Miami Hurricanes basketball.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Good morning. Your sports headlines brought to you by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito at our lowest price. Visit us at DoralKia.com. Thursday night football last night, Jets Patriots. Patriots won 27-14. Miami Dolphins playing Madrid, Spain versus Washington Commanders. Game day uncensored starts at 7 a.m. on Sunday. NHL last night, the Florida Panthers played the Washington Capitals, won 6-3. Brad Marchand was the primary assist to get his 1,000th career point. In the NBA and the hardwood, the Heat did not play last night, but they play Friday night at Madison Square Garden against the Knicks for some NBA Cup action. Pregame starts at 6:30. College football, Miami Hurricanes football plays Saturday afternoon at 3:30. Countdown to kickoff begins at 11:30 a.m. In the MLB, Aaron Judge named AL MVP last night, and Shohei Ohtani named NL MVP last night. Those are your headlines. I'm Trevor Harris. The Joe Rose Show starts now.
The fans to their feet here at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. The final seconds will tick away. The Panthers start the homestand with a victory here over the Washington. The final score, a milestone night here tonight in Sunrise as Brad Marchand reaches 1,000 points with a couple of assists. Daniil Tarasov picks up his first victory in net as a Florida Panther. Seth Jones and Evan Rodriguez each score their 100th National Hockey League goals. A big night, a big win for the Panthers, 6-3 over Washington.
Have a very good morning. Welcome in here and happy Football Friday. Panthers winner last night.
Always good to get a little Panther hockey to start the show.
Always good to hear a little
winning here before we get rolling here on the Football Friday. So welcome aboard here. We got lots going on here. We'll have the usual cast of characters. Joe will stop by at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll have
Blustein. We'll have Mike Florio. We will have Don Bailey Jr. So all of our cast of characters will be with us here
on this Football Friday that kicked off last night with the Jets and Patriots. Dan Day just looked at me and he said, that went about exactly how we thought it was going to go last night. And it did, Dan. It certainly did. The Patriots get the win, and I believe they missed covering the spread by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken.
Might have been the hook. It was, I think it was 13.5.
I think it was.
But Danny, you're telling me so Justin Fields is going to be absolutely terrible. Okay, yeah, check. The Jets, we're going to still come out and put up a good effort at the beginning, check. And then eventually the Patriots would just walk away from them and, win by close to 13. Check. And Trayvon Henderson would run all over the place.
Yep.
Check.
So
you stayed up for that.
Pats have won, 8 straight now? And I got to tell you, that one.
I don't like it.
Good morning, Dono. That one stings, man. I expect the Bills to be good. I just didn't expect the Patriots to jump us so quickly once again. And, if you've been a long-standing Dolphins fan, you know that the Patriots have had their eras of domination. And I hope that we're not back to that. Good morning, Dono. How's it going over there?
Yeah, good morning. I had the same thought about that spread last night with the Patriots-Jets game. Vegas knows what they're doing, right? And in terms of big picture with New England, it just kind of magnifies the Dolphins' curse or the Dolphins' incompetence, however you want to look at it, because you think about all, we're in like year 5 or 6 of the Chris Greer rebuild that got Chris Greer fired. And we can't get out of our own way. And the Patriots already look like they're really good after just a few years. So, unfortunately, being a Dolphin fan has its downsides. But I was happy about the Florida Panthers last night. Brad Marchand getting the 1,000th career point. And the Panthers are climbing again, guys. Like their Western road trip was 2-2, which was pretty good considering all the guys you have injured and going out to the other side of the country to play some tough games. Yeah, I think when they started that Western road trip, they were, right near the bottom of their division, in the bottom of their division. Now they're in 5th place in the Atlantic. So the Panthers are climbing, and for this team, just do enough to get into the playoffs, get your star players healthy again, and we can do some damage.
All right. So, Dono's with us. Dan Day, Trevor's here today. Jamie's here. I'm Hollywood, and we'll have the sounds for you here on this Football Friday. But again, like I gotta tell you, just to see the Patriots get back to, I don't want to call it dominance just yet, right?
Not yet.
They have to win something of some meaning in the postseason, but it's starting to feel like that franchise is turning the corner once again. And the funny thing is, and I'm listening driving in, and the guy, Pat Boyle, who does our overnight show, is he's talking about, the Bills might be cooked here. They got the Bucks this weekend, and Tampa comes in very hobbled to say the least here. And do the Bills, if they lose this game, they have a little bit of a difficult schedule down the stretch. Are the Bills like? And it's funny because the Ravens are in the same boat. It's like the same teams that we always expect to be there. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. And the Bills seem like they're in a little bit of trouble. The Ravens, they've been in trouble. But the Bills thing is interesting, too, because the Bills, I guess they feel, hey, we got Josh Allen, so we don't have to worry about, building a roster. We'll just, we'll go and throw Josh out there, and, we'll surround them with we'll make Khalil Shakir our number one receiver, and we'll just figure it out because Josh can do that. And I just don't know why these teams don't seem to make a better effort to surround these quarterbacks with more elite talent. Like the Ravens clearly have done that. They got Derrick Henry there. They got Zay Flowers there. The Chiefs seemingly have tried to do that, right? I mean, Rashee Rice is a really good receiver. He just missed a lot of the season because he almost killed someone on the highway. But I just don't think the Bills did a good enough job with their roster construction.
No. You look at the offensively, they just give the ball to Josh Allen, say, figure it out. And James Cook, let's not James Cook. James Cook's actually really good running back. So they just give it to them and say, figure it out. Don't worry about the rest.
And I think in that case, they gotten a little bit spoiled and maybe a little complacent in the fact that Josh Allen covers up so many warts. So I think at a certain point, you take the rest of your offense for granted a little bit, doing it with Stephon Diggs, but without Stephon Diggs, you don't seem to have any sort of a drop off there. But I'm with you, Hollywood. I mean, you're talking about a team that's been close. They've been on the precipice a few times, so close to getting to a Super Bowl, but it's a franchise that never seems to do that. You would think they would want to have every piece possible to try to get over that hump finally.
Yeah, it's a funny league though, man. And we do this, right? It's such a week-to-week league. Like the Bills go from beating the Chiefs, right? Then you go and get blown out by the Dolphins. So it's like you just don't know, week to week in this league. And now I give the Patriots a lot of credit. They have been very consistent here. They are winning games, and they are looking pretty good doing it. And last night's game, you see the Jets go on a long drive to open up the game, and all the way down, Justin Fields runs it in, scores a touchdown. But the Patriots just didn't blink in that one. They kept putting it on them, and 8 straight, man. I don't care who you're playing. 8 straight is very, very impressive in that league, and they have been very consistent. And Drake May, I don't know, he might be the MVP when this is all said and done, right? Because we've gone on different things with the MVP. Remember, it was Baker Mayfield for a little bit there.
Plus.
The Bucks have their entire team seems like they're hurt, so that kind of seems to have gone out the window. Then it was Mahomes all of a sudden again, but then Josh beat him. So then it was Josh, and he lost to the Dolphins, and now it's Drake May.
It wasn't 2. It should have been 2 after losing to the Dolphins.
I got to tell you, though, I am old enough to remember when Tua was an MVP candidate. I do remember that.
2 years ago, I think a lot of us are old enough to remember that. Do you remember there was a stretch, 2023, and that was when the Dolphins offense, that was the year they scored 70 against Denver. It was every game was a track meet. There was a 3-week stretch where we couldn't decide if the MVP frontrunner should have been Tua or it should have been Tyreek Hill, who was on pace for 2,000 yards. Didn't get there, but he was on pace for that for a while. You know, how far we've fallen. And the Dolphins offense is still capable of putting up points. They just don't do it consistently. You never know when it's going to happen.
That's right. This game coming up here this weekend for the Dolphins, I just don't even know what to think anymore. Like the problem is, and if you want to bet this team, it's so tricky because I just don't know which Dolphins team we're going to get. You know, Joe tells us when he comes on how, you know, the team's in such great spirits and everyone's playing well and everyone's fired up. And, you know, I don't know, man. That's what they've been saying all season long, right? You know, they talk all week about how, you know, we got to look in the mirror and we got to do this, we got to do that. And then they get blown out by the Browns. And, you know, they say the same stuff again. And then they go and they put it on the Falcons. And they go the next week and get blown out by the Ravens. They say the same stuff again. And then, you know, and Chris gets fired, by the way, in the middle of all of this. And, you know, some scouts get fired in the middle of all of this. But then, you know, they come back and they just beat the hell out of the Bills. So I just don't know which Dolphins team is going to show up. Is Tua going to throw 4 picks? Is he going to throw 4 touchdowns? You know, is the defense going to struggle all of a sudden again? They are such an impossible team to read. Like, I don't know what's going to travel over there to Spain.
Yeah.
You have a good feel on this thing?
You know, I would like to think that it seems as though in the last 2 wins against Buffalo, against Atlanta, like they're finding an identity. Like they're finding the right buttons to push with Devon Achane. Jalen Waddle is playing at the highest level he's played in years. The defense seems to have figured something out because they were a massive liability first month of the season. They seem to be on a roll here. But the problem is, like, between those 2 great wins, you had the Thursday night Baltimore game. And I know that one of the things that came out of that was, well, since you had a short week, it kind of took the mojo we established in the Falcons game. You know, again, it's very tricky with the Dolphins because this is not a good opponent. Like the Washington Commanders are not, you know, not a team that should give you a whole lot of trouble. But you could have said the same thing about Cleveland a month ago. That was a team that you had no business losing to. You really shouldn't have lost to Carolina, especially the way you started that game. It's like, I do feel like the Dolphins are finding kind of a midseason identity, but in terms of actually betting on this team at a 9:30 international game, I'll probably pass and just kick my feet up and watch it, but I will go as far as to say that even if I'm not willing to put my mortgage on it, I do feel pretty good that the Dolphins are going to win this weekend.
It's starting to feel, again, like this thing is coming together for the Dolphins, and everyone, I think, who listens to the show knows where I stand on what should be done in the offseason and all that. But the reality is this, you know, guys, they got the Commanders, Saints, and Jets coming up here. Yeah. And I have to imagine they will be favored in all 3 of those games. They are favored this weekend, right, by 2.5 points. I think the Saints,
only 2.5? Man, if for some reason I thought it was, wow, okay. Huh.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm seeing, at least here, Dono. I don't know if
I believe you.
Lines where you're at, but that's
you would figure we're probably going to have more fans there. Like I feel like we'd have good mojo in Spain. Like we're going to have more fans there in Madrid, and then our local fans will travel well. The locals over there are going to be supporting the Dolphins. I feel like that's going to be Hard Rock Stadium East.
Yeah, right. ESPN's got it at 2.5 here, but so you got, you know, 3 games coming up that you will be favored in. That would get you to 6 wins if you're able to win the next 3. So, you know, it's starting to break in their favor here.
Yeah.
Now it's starting again to feel like if they, you know, are able to finish this season on a high note, that we could get what a lot of people do not want, and that is a patch job here. And that is, you know, an owner that says, well, you know, we had some rough breaks in the beginning of the season. I like the direction that we're heading here. This felt good to finish the year. Let's patch this thing up the best that we can and run it back. And Mike, you know, you'd work your magic with Tua, and let's go again and give us another shot. Starting to feel a little bit like that, isn't it?
Well, because you know that's what Stephen Ross would love to do. He's loyal to a fault, right? And he finally, after, you know, he didn't work with Greer the entire 25 years, but for like the 17 years that he was here, that Greer was also here, he finally decided that change had to be made. But just based on the patterns with Stephen Ross, I feel like, I can't speak for the man, but I feel like he would much prefer to keep this rolling with the same head coach. And heck, he might even keep rolling with Champ Kelly at GM. He might just take that interim tag off and let Champ continue the work that he's already doing. And I don't think it would surprise anyone in the least if he goes that way, because I don't think Stephen Ross, and maybe he shouldn't cave to public pressure, but maybe in some cases you should, because a lot of people from the outside are saying, like you, Hollywood, me, Dan Day, you should blow this up and really start over. I don't know if Stephen Ross, checks his social media, if he hears what these people are saying. So I think he's going to do it the way he wants to do it, and he's going to be tempted to keep a lot of the same people in place.
At Finn's owner on Twitter, you think he goes? Tua doesn't even check his social media. I doubt Mr. Ross is out there checking his social media. But I like my theory on Mr. Ross has been the same. I don't think he wants to go through another rebuild. I think the guy is clearly he's not a what's the thing? Not a spring chicken.
Although I did read something, I don't know what's clickbait and what's not anymore, but supposedly the Chinese are working on some miracle drug that's going to keep people alive to about 150. Okay. So and you would figure someone with Stephen Ross's wealth probably already has his hands on that, right? So if the Chinese have made a drug that'll keep you alive, like double your lifespan, he's probably already taking it.
I'm not sure I would want that though. Like that, you know what I mean? Like I'm not so sure that would be a great thing, Dono, because I feel like I'm about to hit 40 here and my body's breaking down. So
I rolled my ankle playing. Yeah. I was playing touch football in the backyard with my kid, and I rolled my ankle yesterday, like 5 minutes into it. It's bad.
No. What are we talking? High ankle sprain?
It's low ankle, thankfully. Okay. High ankle, I'd still be. I iced it for like 30 minutes, and it's feeling okay today. But yeah, I was out. I did not return from that injury yesterday.
You're not grade 1 like Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, no. Not that bad.
You can always get the Patrick Mahomes high ankle sprain where he just needs like 2 days to rest, and he's good to go back at it. By the way, cap for life. Yes, I thought they should have paid the quarterback when they did. I didn't want to go into the season with a disgruntled quarterback. It obviously has not gone well. I don't think at a certain point, I don't think you had much of a choice, right? You decided you're going to ride with this guy. You probably got to pay him at some point, right? And now the Dolphins, yes, are going to have to eat some of that. And that is their problem, not ours, Dono. They will have to figure that out. All right, we're going to take a pause here. I want to jump into this Canes game with you, Dono. You're going to hang with us here for the first hour this morning. So I want to do that with Dono when we come back. And we're going to have Larry Blustein with us, Don Bailey Jr. Joe is going to stop by, Florio. So we'll have the whole cast of characters here on this Football Friday on WQAM.
All right. Hey, man, it's truck month at your South Florida Chevy.
Welcome back in here on QAM as we continue on here on this Football Friday. A ball game tomorrow here at Hard Rock Stadium. It is the finale, home finale here for the University of Miami. The 7-2 Canes, 5-4 Wolfpack of NC State. We'll let it roll at 3:30 tomorrow, Dono. 11:30 pregame countdown to kickoff. I'll have my running mate Brian Monroe here with me, and Canes come into this one 2 touchdown favorites. So we know what that has meant, Dono. And that has not meant much here, as these spreads, the Canes have been favored the whole way essentially, and now it is a question of you got to win the next 3 to have some sort of shot here to get into the playoff. It seems like from what we saw from the committee this week that they are interested in letting the Canes have a shot, which is nice, right? I mean, we were saying it the other day, like, hey. How come Miami never gets the benefit of the doubt? They help you guys out with the best TV ratings around. And now it does seem like they are getting the benefit of the doubt here from the committee. And again, but it comes down to you got to win these next 3. And it starts on Saturday with a team in NC State that could put up some points, right? I think that has been well established here, Dono, from what we've seen from them. Now, with that being said as well, the Canes defense has been playing at a very high level. So something has to give here tomorrow. Does Georgia Tech, I was just looking at their last game, Dono, Georgia Tech, 48-36. NC State won that one. But you look at the rest of their games, with the exception really of the Notre Dame game, they have put up a pretty decent amount of points in every game this season. So they are a tough offensive team, a tough defensive assignment for Miami tomorrow. What's this one going to look like, Dono? Something's got to give here.
Yeah, I mean, NC State, like you said, they can put up points. They put up a lot of points this year, but they give up a lot of points. And so I think, a couple of the differences that could be, in Miami's favor in this football game, maybe a couple of extra defensive stops, but your offense has to execute and your offense has to exploit NC State. They've been really poor in pass coverage, specifically Hollywood. They've been really poor defending third downs. They rank 121st in the country in opponent third down conversions. So Miami should have some opportunities. How are they going to deal with CJ Daniels, assuming he returns this week? How are they going to deal with Malachi Toney, who's going to give anybody matchup nightmares? This seems to be the type of game, and I know Carson Beck has been a little inconsistent. Certain games he's attacked downfield really well, like in the Florida State game and the USF game. Other times he's been a little bit gun-shy, like even against Syracuse. Beck did not attempt a pass that went more than 19 yards like down the field. The big plays that Miami made in the passing game were primarily done with Yak. But it's a bad NC State defense versus an inconsistent Miami offense. So if Miami can find some consistency. And then on the flip side of it, big key for Miami here, couple keys. Your linebackers and safeties who may be called to duty on any given play to cover Justin Jolie, who's a really good tight end on the NC State side, probably the best tight end Miami has faced all year. And then being able to put pressure on CJ Bailey is really important, Hollywood, because Bailey he's having an excellent year, no doubt. And every quarterback in the world is better with a clean pocket than they are under pressure. That is true. But the difference in CJ Bailey under pressure versus CJ Bailey with a clean pocket is massive. When you can pressure him, when you can force him out, he's made some questionable decisions. He's not been the same guy when he's facing pressure. So you enter Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, and Miami's other, backup pass rushers. They come in waves. You need to find consistent success and make Bailey uncomfortable. Like, they didn't do that consistently enough when they faced Kevin Jennings at SMU a couple of weeks ago. There were too many clean pockets there. You can't allow CJ Bailey clean pockets because he's a different quarterback when you don't give that to him. So, I mean, I'll sum this up by saying that NC State is better than some of the teams you face this year, no question. Like, this is a good football team. But what we say a lot about Miami is you can win this game if you cut down on the self-inflicted wounds, right? if you don't turn the football over, because NC State's defense is not good, but they have been opportunistic at times, forcing key takeaways. Don't give them those free shots to take the football away from you. Let's try to keep the penalties down for a second straight week. If Miami can avoid that self-sabotage act that we love to do so much, I think you should be able to win this game somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, and clearly CJ Bailey is going to want to win this game, right? He's coming back home for this one. He's going to want to win this game. That team is going to want to win because, Dono, they want to get bowl eligible here. They want to get that sixth win, which is the important number to get to here. So there is clearly a lot for NC State to play for. And then on the flip side, Miami playing for a chance at the playoff. But that injury report popped up yesterday. Donna, I saw Keontae Scott is going to miss the game.
That's tough.
Yeah, these injury reports, by the way, in college are a little dicey, huh?
Well, the Keontae Scott thing, it's been a very and obviously it turned out to be true, but it's been like a very prevalent social media and message board rumor for the past few days. You're hearing some things behind the scenes. I think maybe some people are maybe overestimating how serious it is, but it's going to keep him out this week for sure, which is rough because Keontae Scott, you could make an argument he's been the best player on your defense. Like a defense that has Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Bain. Keontae Scott has been so consistent. He's a semifinalist for the Thorpe Award. So, yeah, being without him, I mean, Miami does have depth in the defensive backfield, but Keontae Scott has been the best you've had all season long. So that's going to hurt not having him, and it's going to give C.J. Bailey and his receivers maybe a little bit more breathing room than they would have had with Keontae on the field.
Well, that one will go at 3:30 tomorrow from Hard Rock Stadium. Dono, because I know we only have you for an hour here with us. How about I almost want to get my prediction from you now.
I've got it ready.
You know how this one's going to play out?
So I went on record. I did a crossover episode that's coming out today with Kenton Gibbs and Grayson Boone from Locked On Wolfpack. I'm representing Locked On Canes, of course, and I while I really, really want Miami to, go for the jugular and you'll get the type of win that impresses the committee, I'm going to go conservative on this one, hoping that maybe the football gods will accept my sacrifice and they'll say, you know what, if Dono is not having them cover the spread, we're going to have Miami by 40. I'm going 31-21 Miami. I would like to think they don't start the game slowly on offense, but they need to prove me wrong. Like they need to show me otherwise. They need to show me that they're going to put up, 14 points in the first quarter. I'll have to see it to believe it. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a mud fight, a dog fight until like early fourth quarter. That's when I think Miami's going to start to wear down the defense and pull away a little bit. So I'm going to have it like 21-21 going into the fourth, and then Miami scoring 10 unanswered. I'm going to have Miami winning 31-21, and hopefully that's enough for the committee to say Miami keeps climbing.
So win but no cover, I think is what you're saying essentially.
That's what I'm saying. I'd prefer to cover, but I'm going to be real with you. I think I think it's going to be a 10-point win.
Dono, I usually pick the Canes to cover these spreads, and I seem to be wrong more often than I have been right on these. What was it? Didn't Syracuse, didn't they backdoor that thing?
They did.
Last week, right? They scored late and ended up. So, look, I don't care. Like, the only thing I do care about is I would like them to cover just because I think they need to win impressively the rest of the way. Like, I don't want them to leave any doubt in that committee's mind, right? Like, I want the committee who, may or may not watch all these games, Dono, to look at that final score and be like, all right, Miami, they handled these guys. It wasn't an issue. If they win by 7, they win by 10, maybe they look at it and oh, Miami's they're still struggling over there a little bit.
That's what I'm worried about.
More.
Yep.
So, all right, that'll be again Saturday 3:30. Man, looking forward to it. Should be a good crowd, hopefully at Hard Rock Stadium. If you don't have your tickets yet, we'd love to see you out there. Come support the team, right? For this
and the seniors, it's senior day. Support these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be out there 11:30 tomorrow. We got the fan zone right across from us, where we broadcast right next to the team store. So come by and say hello. Brian Monroe was signing autographs last week. That's how popular he's gotten. So come by and say hello. We'll take a pause. We got some other sports news. We'll jump outside of football for a second. here when we come back on the show. Some other big news out of the world of sports yesterday. So we'll take a pause. More to come here on this Football Friday on QAM.
Right now, though, I want to talk to you about Baptist Health South Florida.
Welcome back in here on a Football Friday on QAM. We do have Heat tickets to give away. Heat and Knicks. We'll give those away at some point here during the show. Dono, I said we were going to jump off football stuff here for just a quick second here, and I'm going to skip past this this headline here that reads 14 charged in mafia-backed betting ring involving athletes. I'm gonna just politely skip past that. I'm getting tired of talking about people point shaving and
there is no such thing as the mafia. This is anti-Italian discrimination. It drives me crazy every single time. I'm glad you're skipping over that nonsense.
With that being said, Dono, have you ever been invited to join one of the families or anything like that, or?
No, and I'm kind of
you
insulted.
Frequent Italy, the old country, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, and I've been over to Italy, many times. I've never seen any sort of mafia activity that I could tell. I'm assuming the whole thing is a myth. They haven't invited me, so I'm very insulted by that.
You gotta get down on one of those high stakes poker games where they steal your money.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the side that's doing the stealing, not getting played.
Exactly. Anyway, I wanted to just touch on this really quick. We had the MVPs in baseball yesterday, and Aaron Judge takes the AL. Shohei Ohtani, a 4-time unanimous MVP.
Wow.
His popularity. I mean, and I'm in the collecting world, so I do follow that stuff. It is amazing how popular this guy is. He's 31, so he's right in the prime of his career. They just won it again in one of the most entertaining World Series you'll ever see. And that guy is one of, if not the biggest star in sports right now. I mean, I'm trying to think, if we do the biggest stars in sports, the thing with Ohtani too is he's global. Mm-hmm. Right. He is very, very global. I'm not saying a guy like LeBron isn't, or Steph, or
don't forget Messi. Messi's in our own backyard here.
Messi, certainly. I'm with you on Messi, but Shohei Ohtani kind of stands alone in that sport, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think. So in football, it'll be Patrick Mahomes, probably.
Yeah.
Basketball, I mean, you got to go LeBron or Steph.
I think it's still LeBron. When it comes to global appeal, it's still LeBron, I believe.
I'm with you on LeBron. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this yesterday too. Steph Curry is departing from Under Armour.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Where's he going?
He's going to be a free agent, they said. He gets the name of the Curry brand, gets to go with him wherever he goes, but he's going to be parting with Under Armour. And I might be the only person that's ever bought a pair of Under Armour shoes, because apparently their shoe business just is not doing particular. I find them to be comfortable, but apparently I'm alone in that. So.
I think I had a pair of those once, and I think Channing Crowder made fun of me, and I never wore them again because he's very particular about shoes. There was a whole thing 6-7 years ago. I used to wear the dad sneakers, and I wasn't even a dad. I think that was before I was even a dad, and Crowder made fun of me so much. He showed up because he got all those free shoes, or he gets free shoes from Nike, and he shows up with a big garbage bag full of shoes in my size. He just gave them to me, and so I would stop wearing the granddad shoes. I think the Under Armour was part of the I had Under Armours and I had Skechers, which were not cool with Crowder.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because this was many years back, and Crowder came into the studio one day, and he was wearing, I don't know if you remember the Air Max Ken Griffey's, the Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
I do, yeah, sure.
The top ones.
I never had them, but I remember them.
So I had them when I was really little. And, he comes in wearing them, but he had the all black with the neon green air bubble. So they look kind of like those Air Total Max Up Tempo. Trevor is a shoe guy. He probably knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I look Crowder. I go, man, those are sweet. He goes, well, what size do you wear? I said, I wear a 12. He goes, here you go. And he actually took them off of his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
In the studio and handed them to me.
That's amazing. I wear 12 also. That's why he was able to bring me so many shoes, because that was the size he had.
So I was like, what are you kidding? What do you do? He's like, no, he's like, I'm going home after the show. I'm fine.
Oh, man.
And so hilarious. He gave me his shoes right off of his feet.
And remember,
what a guy.
I know.
That's brave by Crowder, because remember, he has the butt foot. When he was a young child.
That I don't know about. What's the butt foot?
Oh, is that contagious?
No. So for some
Sounds
reason,
contagious. I don't know what this is.
he
I've
was
never
near
heard
a
of this
he was
one.
near a fire, and the fire popped and it burned his foot. So they had to graft skin from his butt onto his foot. So he has some
Really?
skin that's from his butt, but it also grows hair because obviously he has hair on his rear end. So part of his foot has hair on it that grows. It's weird. It's a weird situation, but yeah. And he says, well, I'm not going to get too deep into it. But
Yeah, this sounds really weird.
it's a weird story, but yeah. So he was sitting there with his butt foot out, and giving you the shoes, but that's quite
Yeah.
prevalent.
No, he took him right off his feet and gave him to me. That's the kind of guy Crowder is, though.
What a guy. And another thing I remember, so when my son was like first born, Crowder just like randomly showed up with like a playpen and a bunch of baby stuff from that he wasn't using anymore from one of his kids.
Wow.
He just showed up to the station with that, and I just took him. Like, he is the best,
awesome.
man. I love Crowder.
He is the best. I don't know if did you ever see the video where he broke both of his feet?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
So this was at the we did the NCAA tournament show at Hard Rock, and so I hear about this he broke both of his feet. I'm like, what are you talking about? He broke both of his. Sure enough, he shows up in a wheelchair.
Oh my gosh.
And so Solana was like, we have video of it. And like, I don't like, it's like, when they show those NFL, like the NFL's like, we won't show you this replay because it's too horrific,
too graphic.
I was afraid that the video
Yeah.
was going to show him just exploding with all the ankles and feet, just smashing in half. So anyway, so he shows me the video. He's trying to do like a the cheerleading move where they jump up and they touch both toes at once.
Oh yeah, sure.
And he's trying to impress his like 9-year-old daughter
Yeah.
and his niece that's like 10.
So I see the video. So he does this and he lands and he just like falls back and he broke both of his feet.
Oh my god,
both of them, like at the same time in the same jump.
Oh man,
that's the kind of thing where you just say, I'm going to give up all physical activity moving forward, right?
Yeah, that was like
I
yes,
wouldn't
when I rolled my ankle in the backyard. Yes, I felt the same way. I'm like, I'm getting too old for this.
Dono injured in the backyard playing with his young son. These things are tough, man. It's tough out there for the old men. All right, we're gonna take a pause here. Dono, you're leaving us, aren't you?
I gotta leave. I got car repairs that I've gotta get done today. So I'll be
coming down tomorrow? Are we gonna see you down here tomorrow?
Yeah, you'll see me. That's why I got to get the car repairs done today.
Get that thing all set. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be up in your neck of the woods, by the way, around Thanksgiving. But we'll see you out here tomorrow.
Sweet.
And you make sure you don't stop by that pregame because you know what'll happen. We'll rope you in there, make you jump on. Like
I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna enter from the north end of the stadium. So.
Smart. That's smart. Don Bailey's been very feisty lately, so you definitely want to keep.
And Darrow's been a little feisty too.
I know Darrow was a little feisty. Yeah, we had a feisty pregame. Now we're coming off a win, and they're back in the playoff hunt again. So hopefully things won't be as feisty tomorrow on the pregame. It'll be more of an upbeat type of show. But anyway, Donna, we'll see you tomorrow, right, my friend?
See you guys. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Hollywood. We'll see you later.
All right, great week here with Dono. By the way, Joe will be back with us on Monday. He's going to come do the show straight off of the plane. He's also going to stop by at 8:00 this morning, so have that for you. Larry Bluestein's going to join us in the 7:00 hour. Don Bailey Jr. will join us, and Mike Florio, as usual, here on a Football Friday on WQAM.
Hurricane season, man. Protect your home with
AM/FM and HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM AM Miami. An Odyssey sports station. Home of the 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat. The 5-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. And Miami Hurricanes basketball.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
All right. Good morning. Your sports headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Kia or at DoralKia.com. Thursday Night Football last night, Jets and Patriots. Patriots won 27-14. Miami Dolphins playing Madrid, Spain versus the Washington Commanders. Game day uncensored starts at 7 a.m. on Sunday. In the NHL last night, Florida Panthers played the Washington Capitals and won 6-3. Brad Marchand scored his career 1,000th career point on the helper on the empty net goal. NBA, the Heat didn't play last night, but they play Friday night at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden against the Knicks for some NBA Cup action. Pre-game starts at 6:30. Miami Hurricanes football plays Saturday afternoon at 3:30. Countdown to kickoff begins at 11:30. In the MLB, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani named AL and NL MVPs. The Joe Rose Show starts now. Hollywood, how we doing over there?
Good. Thank you very much there, Trevor. As we continue on here on this Football Friday, Dono had to go do more important stuff, Dan. So he is not with us the rest of the way. Dan Day is here with me, though. Dan, good to have you here, man, as we roll on here. I hope everyone's had a great week here. And Joe will be back with us on Monday. He will come straight off the plane. He's also going to stop by, assuming he didn't drink too much last night. He's going to stop by with us here in the 8 o'clock hour. We got a big weekend of NFL football coming up here, so I want to get to some of the games that are on the slate. Of course, the Dolphins will kick things off early on Sunday morning. I love those early games. I hate that they're out of the country, but I do like a good early game here.
I always think about you, Danny, because you have been one of the proponents.
I'm leading the charge, Dan.
You really are. You really are. And I thought, Danny, let it go. Let it go.
I know.
So finally, now it's ironic that the Dolphins are playing the first regular season game ever in Spain against the Commanders this coming Sunday. Spain, I guess, maybe wanted to reciprocate by sending a FC Barcelona Villarreal game here. First regular season La Liga game, which is the
something that I have no interest in. Okay.
Right, but nonetheless, they're going to send here to Miami. Probably
Fair
the
enough.
easiest landing for any Spanish team to play. So much outrage by the players, by the fans. Every game in La Liga, before the game started, there was a moment of like silent rage. So much so the fans threw such a fit that they were having a game here in the United States. They said, you know what? We're not doing it. We're not doing it. And I was like, I thought Danny was kind of being a curmudgeon, but United States, that's kind of dirty. So
yeah, man. Hey, this is a Dolphins home game.
Yeah, you lose a home game,
right? So it's a Dolphins home game. So you lose a game. I don't know. Maybe that's not the worst thing for the fans, to be quite honest, with the way this season has gone. But the Dolphins hit that game as 2.5-point favorites, 9:30 on Sunday. This Bills and Bucks game I find very intriguing too. So both of those teams are at 6-3. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 points. Again, that's 1 o'clock on Sunday from Buffalo. The Bills have a tough schedule coming up here, man. They got the Bucks this weekend, and they go at Houston, at Pittsburgh. Bengals easier game, at New England, at the Browns, the Eagles, and the Jets to finish the season. And it's like, all right, well, if this team doesn't get it together quickly, we could be looking at a situation where the Bills maybe don't make the playoffs. Is there a scenario where that happens? I mean,
don't Bills do this?
Really crazy. They do this every year.
Every year at this time, we're like, Bills might not make the playoffs. And lo and behold, they win the division. They go off, they rattle off a bunch of wins.
I don't think they're going to win the division this year. I think the Patriots are the real deal. Now, I know Buffalo is going to play them again. That's December 14th in New England. I just don't see anyone catching this Patriots team right now. They look too good. This guy Drake May is playing at a really high level. Defensively, they're pretty good as well, and they've won 8 straight.
They got that good running at Trayvon Henderson. Yeah. They have a good coach, by the way, Mike Vrabel. But
they do. They put it all together. That stings, by the way. The Patriots one stings because we spent 20-something years dealing with Tom Brady and them dominating the division, and It was supposed to be a shift when Brady retired, right? That was when everyone else was supposed to get their chance. And then it was the Bills. The Bills have been dominating things for a while now, and the Dolphins have just been nowhere in this entire equation the whole time here. But you look at the Bills, and it is amazing. Khalil Shakir is their leading receiver.
That's my thing. The Bills are who they are. They're limited, man. They are limited. They have a very steady ceiling every year. And the thing is, like, they can't be any better than they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Khalil Shakir. They rely on Josh Allen. All you have to do is figure him out. And obviously, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have figured him out. So, like, it's like, you know how we say we're stuck. I know we'd love to be stuck in the same place that the Bills are, but they're limited. They have a very, very solid ceiling that is not moving. It's not going up. So, yeah, on offense, they're limited, man.
So you should have a fun post game on Sunday, right? I assume you're doing a post game show, but you should have a fun one because you'll be in the middle of all these 1 o'clock games when you get on the air. So you'll be able to give some updates throughout that one as you go, and then a good one at 4:25. This Broncos and Chiefs game from Denver should be really good. KC, for some reason, is favored by 3.5. That is a very strange spread there as they head into Denver. Denver's 8-2. Chiefs are 5-4. Maybe the thinking is that this is a must-win game for the Chiefs. You can't have them at 500, right?
Let's prognosticate here. I'll be honest with you. Whoever wins the Bills Tampa Bay game, Bucks Bills game, this team's all right. They've set themselves straight. The team that loses, the season's going down the toilet. And Kansas City's going to win this game, man. Kansas City's going to win. They're going to say, that's how they are. That's what they do. So, I mean, I just don't see Kansas City losing this game. They've been there, done that. They'll find a way to win.
And then a good game here on Sunday night as well. We'll ask Florio about this one. He'll have this game. Eagles and Lions coming up from Philly.
That's interesting.
With the Eagles favored by 2.5 there. So you do have some good games. The Cowboys, by the way, are on Monday Night Football in a crap game against the Raiders. Cowboys at 3-5, Raiders at 2-7. I know the Cowboys get big TV numbers, but that game is not all that attractive there on Monday night. It might be a good night to catch up on some sleep. In the NBA, we have the Heat and Knicks tonight.
NBA
Cup game. The Knicks are favored by 5.5 from Madison Square Garden.
No Jalen Brunson
in this one. So we got that going on. The Panthers did win last night, and as I mentioned earlier, we have some Heat tickets that we will give away here at some point during the program for Monday night when the Knicks will come to town, and should be some fun NBA basketball here, Dan. And we also have college basketball coming up on Sunday night. That I will be working with Joe Z as the Canes will go off to Jacksonville to play the Gators. So the first tough test of the season there.
I was going to say, Danny, what an anxious and eager game. You're eager to see how good you are. You're anxious to see how you might maybe not be that good. This is the true litmus test of the season because so far
Gators are in trouble. Canes are in trouble.
I was going to say,
Jamie just was so eager to jump in and pump up the Gators that he said what he was going to say wrong.
Yeah, I just goofed on that one. Huh?
Just shows you what kind of character these Florida people have right there. It just really just dropped the ball there, Jamie.
Made a fool out of myself right out the gates here.
You really did. Go Canes, bro.
It's a good litmus test, though, because Danny, what you can do is you win the game. Of course, you start saying Jay Lucas is really working this thing. If you lose and it's a close game, you're saying, hey, you're playing with the defending national champions. Then, of course, if Florida runs away from you, you say, man, we still got a long way to go. But it could go any direction right there.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how good this team actually is because I think they've put together a really nice team, but you can only tell so much when you're playing, likes of Bethune and, in Jacksonville and
Stetson.
So yeah, you got so we got all that. That sets the table for a busy sports weekend. Dan, we haven't got a chance to do any of my memorabilia stuff this week. So I don't know if you mind if I jump into a couple of these topics. Usually hit these in the headlines. So this has been a crazy week here. So let me just read you a couple of these. Okay. The first one here is Tom Brady's card vault, which is the Brady card store, robbed of nearly $10,000 of cards at his New York City location. We start there. We got Nirvana's first radio played record.
Ooh,
you would like this,
this is
Dan.
exciting.
$59,000 you'd have to spend to part with that item.
And that's vinyl, right?
Yeah, well, I think right, record, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's it, yeah.
We got a ticket to Michael Jordan's home preseason debut found in a box under a dresser here. And there are so many of these funny stories about people finding crazy stuff like this in their homes. And now I live in like a regular neighborhood with houses and stuff, and so the people across the street were having a garage sale the other day, and I hear about garage sales. I haven't been to one in many, many, many years, and we walked over. No cards though. No cards, no memorabilia that we could find there. But yeah, so these things, like these old tickets and all this different stuff, are like really, really valuable now, and people are paying insane amounts of money for stuff.
And people do all this. They're like, well, how can you let something like that get away? Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I ever go to Big Lynn's house back in New Orleans and clean up, I'm sure there's all types of tickets and cards and all types of cool things I've collected over the years that I just jammed in a drawer or have gotten lost. So I see where that comes from. But Michael Jordan's first preseason game ticket, that's an interesting, like, is there a market? Obviously
there's a huge market for stuff like that. Anything with MJ's name on it's like almost like Ohtani. Anything with Dimes on the chat here says garage sales are a gold mine. I'm gonna start whenever I see those signs. Whenever I see garage sale signs, I'm gonna start hitting those things, man.
Now you'll be able to go to Deerfield and stuff. They have them all the time.
See what people.
I'll tell you this, Dave, what you do at a garage sale is just nickel and dime these people, because they're really just trying to clear out their house.
Yeah.
So if they have a box full of cards or a box full of sports stuff, just say like, look, I got $2, man. That's all the cash I got. Nobody carries cash anymore. And they'll gladly give it to you. And you know what? You might find a gem. I'm telling you, I've had a garage sale where literally at the end, I was just like, take whatever you want. And people were still like, nah, I'm good.
Now, the other thing too, though, is like, I've always also seen stories about like, they'll go to the garage sale, the old lady is selling stuff, and, someone will find like the holy grail of baseball cards at the garage sale. And they're like, here, old lady, I'll give you $1 for this card. It's like, I would never feel okay about like ripping someone off like that. Like if I did find something that I knew was like incredibly valuable, I don't think I would feel right about like knowingly trying to fleece someone.
Yeah, give her $5.
Yeah, exactly. Give her $5 so she can.
She'll think she got a deal. She'll never know.
All right, we're gonna do this. Let's go here. Let's go to talk to Larry Blustein. He's gonna join us as we continue on. A lot of stuff to get Blue's take on this Canes game here. We got a guy coming home. He's playing quarterback for the Wolf Pack.
I'm interested about this.
And Blue's got high school playoffs going on. He sent me Blue's all fired up, man. He sent me all the games he wants to talk about. So we'll talk to Larry Blustein. We continue on here on QAM.
All right, hey man, it's Truck Month.
Welcome back in here on QAM. It is a football Friday, and it's time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com, where we are joined by our friend Larry Blustein. Blue, how's it going, my friend? Good to talk to you here on a football Friday.
You too, Danny. Thanks so much. We're underway. State playoffs began last night and round one, and obviously this is the time of year that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and especially because of the fact, once again, that all 7 state championship classes will be played at Pitbull Stadium and FIU in the second week of December. So obviously last night, because of the fact that South Florida, especially, they don't have stadiums in Miami-Dade County, so you have to share them. And last night, 3 number 1 seeds got off to a start. Miami LaSalle beat Silver Palms, Somerset, and Miami Northwestern big. They're defending state champions in 3A. They won, and Miami Palmetto in 7A. So you kind of kick things off, and now today we go to the meat of this schedule statewide, and there's some really good games.
All right, Blue, let's jump into it here at the 4A. We got Plantation, Fort Lauderdale, Dillard. What do you think of that game there?
This is an intriguing game because of the fact that here's Dillard. They're 10-0, Dan, and obviously you get that instant respect. But the thing about Plantation is they came out of perhaps the toughest district in all of 4A in the state, where all 4 teams made the state playoffs, which is kind of unheard of. And, this is one of those games. I think this is, usually first round games you get kind of mismatches or, high seeds against low seeds. But this is kind of an intriguing matchup because I think Plantation's got some talent and they've played real well. They came up with a big win, in the district play. And, certainly, Dillard's out to show, all the naysayers, hey, listen, you know what? We may not have played the toughest schedule, but we're still 10-0, and we've outscored our opposition almost like 35-0, down the stretch. So, I think this is one of the marquee games. If people are going to go to a game, this would be a game. It's at Dillard, starts at 7:30.
Blue at 5A, we got a couple of 8-2 teams, Coconut Creek and Matter Academy, and Coach Ice Harris, the job that he's done in his first year at Matter. Yeah,
no, you're 100% right. And this is one of those games too where you take a look, 2 8-2 teams, 2 teams that their combined losses probably on each side were probably 8 or 9 points total. And this is, this is one of those games where with Coconut Creek, their 2 losses, they lost to Cardinal Gibbons 11-6, and then they lost to a team like Delray Atlantic, who's we talk with Joe every week about our friends up in West Palm Beach area, and Delray's Atlantic was a good team, but this is a great matchup. It's at Mylander Stadium in Hialeah at 10 Hendricks Field, and it's another 7:30 game, and 2 Dade versus Broward, and 2 well-coached teams, and this is probably one of the more exciting first-round games.
Blue at 7A, we got Christopher Columbus and Lantana Palm Beach St. Lucius there. So what do you think of that one?
Okay, well, let's look at Columbus. I can't remember, and I've been doing this forever, that Columbus has ever had a losing record.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3-7, and they're in the playoffs. But at the same time, the schedule that they've played is crazy. I mean, they played Northwestern, they played St. Thomas Aquinas, they went up to Maryland and played. Obviously, this is not the same Columbus team that we see every year. This is probably the first time that they haven't hosted a first-round game, maybe in a decade. And Santa Lucia is, kind of an intriguing team, coached by Hector Clavijo, who won state championships at Champagnat. He's a Dade County guy. So he kind of knows the landscape. It's gonna be an intriguing game because the winner of this game will get Palmetto, and Columbus lost to Palmetto about at the beginning of the year for the first time in many years. So yeah, this is even though it's a 3-7 versus 6-3, Danny, it's one of these games that you got to keep your eye on, because Columbus has been there, done that. They probably don't have as much talent as they've had, but they've got tons of coaching.
All right, Blue, and let's get to the big dogs here, teams that are big favorites coming up. You got Chaminade, you got American Heritage, St. Thomas, and how about West Boca, Blue?
Yeah, all state championships, all defending state champions, all teams that are, predicted to go pretty far. St. Thomas will open at home. Chaminade opens at home. West Boca, the same thing. But West Boca has a tougher region because they have to play, teams from upstate, where, Chaminade will have all the 1A schools from South Florida, and St. Thomas Aquinas, the same thing. And American Heritage is kind of intriguing. This is a team that kind of relied on Malachi Tony last year. There's surprise, right? They lose him. Here's a guy who down the stretch last year played quarterback for them in the state championship game. They lost a lot of talent, but they're still in the mix. They're still a number 2 seed. This is the first losing season that we can remember they've had in a long, long time. They go into tonight's game at 4-5, but like I said, they're at home, and that makes a big difference. And they'll be at home, at least for the because they're a 2 seed, they'll be at home for at least for 3 rounds or 2-3 rounds of the playoffs. So should be interesting. And there's a lot of other games taking place tonight with an opportunity for a lot of people, a lot of fans to get a good look, because next round will be exciting, and the Thanksgiving round will be really exciting. Got a lot of key matchups, including, I don't want to look too far, but Northwestern Central, rematch again, 2 of the best teams easily in the state.
Larry Blustein here with us on QAM. Blue, it's been the other aspect of what you do is the recruiting side of things, and I know we'll get more into this on Countdown to Kickoff tomorrow, but we've had Dono with us this week, and it has been a very busy week for the Miami Hurricanes on the recruiting front. What can you tell us about some of the names that they have locked up here?
Yeah, this has been a really good week, and it's come at a great time, and as well as I do, and being around the Hurricanes, it's been a frustrating time for them, especially down the stretch, and having a couple of kids join the fold, because remember, they went into this week, Danny, or 2 weeks ago, as the 11th best recruiting team for the class of 2026. And, coming up with this class, and a lot of people, I know a lot of fans, are all up in arms because they're not getting a lot of local kids. But the very fact that they're taking a lot of, big time players from around the country. They got, we know Jackson Cantwell, who's a 5-star lineman. But this week they picked up J.J. Dunnigan, a kid from Manhattan, Kansas. A cornerback who's 6'2" and about 185 pounds, huge. To add to a defensive secondary with Clinton Portis' son, Camden, a kid that's really played, and Cortez Redding and Jalen Waters, who was a teammate of Gerard Pringle, who we saw last week a lot. So, yeah, they picked up a lot of kids this week. They still have Darian Coleman coming in. They still have a bunch of offensive linemen, Joel Irvin from Fort Myers High School, and Jordan Campbell locally from Miami Northwestern. I got a chance last week before the game to meet Vince Spafford and his mother. Vince is a California kid, real fast, one of the fastest kids in the country. Before the game, and they're walking the sideline, and they were real nice. She's looking forward to it. He's looking forward to it. You don't get a lot of kids that come across the country like that, but certainly the only worry she had was her hair frizzing in the in the humidity. Other than that, she can't wait to get here, and certainly, like you said, this class right now is top 8. In the country, and you put that together with what Mario Cristobal and his staff have done in the portal, and Miami will be right there.
Well, Blue, I know we're not going to talk about this tomorrow. Countdown to Kickoff, so I wanted to get this out of the way with you here, if you could. How are the other schools in the state doing right now? I know you have some You got Florida, who doesn't have a coach yet. You got Florida State, who may not have a coach when this is all said and done here. You got South Florida, who may be in the playoff when this is all said and done.
How about that?
I know you're a big fan of Coach Golish over there, and he's done a really good job with that program. But Blue, how are these other schools in the state faring right now? As again, Miami is the top dog, and there's no debating that one. How are the other ones doing?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Danny, because of the fact that, when you don't have, especially at the University of Florida, where you don't know who your coach is, and they've got a really good class going, but the vultures, and they're all waiting around to see, because if the hire is not somebody that a lot of these kids who have already committed, feel comfortable with, then, there could be more flips. And, Miami has a pretty good tie to a couple of those Florida kids that committed over the last 2 years, having a coach Coach Harris, who's now down here in South Florida. But you get an opportunity at FSU. They're playing the waiting game. They're seeing what happens. But USF, having the type of year that they've had this year, and a lot of people now are giving this program respect because, hey, listen, they've stood up, against some really good programs. And as you mentioned, right now, even losing that Memphis, the Memphis game, which I'm sure Coach Golish would love to have back, that they're in the conversation. And, they have Navy this week on the road, which is, never going to be easy, but they finished strong, and they finished 10-2, and you know what? Who's going to deny him? And certainly Coach Golish has done a great job. There's a lot of talk about, him and, different, gigs now, the Virginia Tech job, this job, that job. But you know what? I talked to him, and I think he's really comfortable where he's at. His family loves Tampa, and certainly I think USF's going to ante up for him. So, yeah, good. The recruiting is going to go on. And as you said, when Florida gets a coach, UCF right now not doing really, really great, but at the same time, they're picking up some kids as well.
Well, Blue, it is going to always be fun to watch the recruiting down here and see the cycles of these programs. And right now, Miami's on top, and the other two of the big three, they're almost in limbo here.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Sure, not crazy. A lot of people feeling sorry for him either, but that's because it goes in cycles. You remember when Miami didn't have a coach, and Manny Diaz departed, and they were looking for somebody. They were in the same situation, but right now Mario and his staff have it going, and Miami could be one of the top recruited teams, especially for class of 2026, and kind of fill a lot of those holes with some big time kids. And as well as I do, hanging around the Miami program, that if they get a chance to see a guy like O.J. Frederick last year or Malachi Tony this year as true freshmen play, that's huge, because, then these kids who played with and against them feel, hey, listen, if I come in here and I play hard, I could be in the same situation and start at a major college. So, it's a good time for recruiting. It's a good time to be a football fan, especially coming down the line. Miami just has to win the next 3 weeks, and and everything will take care of itself.
Blue, let me sneak one more in here really quick if we can. CJ Bailey, the quarterback for NC State, he's from down here. I'm guessing he comes into this game feeling like this is quite an opportunity here to put on a show in in his hometown, number one, and number two, I'm guessing it'd probably feel pretty good for him if he could knock the Canes out of the playoff hunt here.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. And, as well as I do, in the last 3 games, Miami kind of stepped their heels in the first half and didn't do real well. And they can't afford to do that tomorrow. And somebody like a C.J. Bailey, North Carolina State, where their defense is not one of the best in the country, their offense will go with anybody. I mean, they score, and especially with C.J., they've done a tremendous job. Here's a 6'7" quarterback, Danny, that is just an amazing athlete, does tremendous things, and he's fit in real well there. So, yeah, he comes back home tomorrow with nothing to prove. Everybody goes, oh, he's got a revenge. He doesn't have revenge. He just wants to play his game, and he's leading the ACC in passing, which is good enough. And we'll see. He comes back. A couple of kids that were from South Florida on that team as well. And, you know how it is. Syracuse last week, anytime somebody plays Miami that they feel that Miami didn't recruit them well enough, they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. And certainly tomorrow is going to be interesting for a number of reasons because this is Miami's last home game. These seniors are the Reuben Baines and such, and the Messidors playing their last home game. And I think it's going to be special on their side too.
Well, Blue, hopefully all the fans get out there and support the Canes tomorrow. Yep. Should be a lot of fun, and look forward to seeing you out there and talking to you on Countdown to Kickoff. Thank you for the time this morning, as always, Blue.
Sounds good, Danny. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Larry Blustein here with us on our Football Friday. He always kicks off Football Friday here with us. A little high school football, a lot of playoff games going on, and that recruiting stuff, man, always a topic down here in South Florida. We're going to take a pause. Joe's going to join us in about 20 minutes from now. Don Bailey Jr. will stop by. Mike Florio is going to join us. We'll continue on here on this Football Friday on QAM.
Want to talk to you about the main man.
Here on this Football Friday on QAM. I've just been made aware of something. Hollywood Dan Day, Trevor, Jamie Long here with you. I've just been made aware of this, Dan Day, that apparently if the Panthers get 30 saves in a game, everyone is supposed to get a coupon for free nuggets from Chick-fil-A. Do you have the coupon?
Chick-fil-A
so
app.
I have the app open. I don't see it on mine.
No, it will pop up. It just popped up on mine.
Uh-oh. So we got
it. I'm going to close the app and relaunch.
So
I still don't see it. I've just reopened
it. It wasn't even Bob last night.
So all right. So I don't have it. Trevor seems to have it. So Trevor wins. He gets nuggets. I don't. Maybe Trevor can fix this for me during the break. But apparently, if you open up the Chick-fil-A app, we're all entitled to a free 8-piece nuggets today. 8.
Wow.
All 8 of them. Should be 30-piece for all the 30 saves they got. But
make it a 12-piece. How about that?
Yeah, so I guess it's supposed to be on everyone's app this morning. So if you have the Chick-fil-A app, maybe you wake up to a nice surprise here for you. Thank you to Larry Blustein for joining us. Blue will join us again tomorrow. Countdown to kickoff starts at 11:30 here on QAM. Looking forward to getting out to the stadium tomorrow for the final time, man. I can't believe it. 8 home games, and it has come to an end. It ends tomorrow. If you are looking for something to do on your Saturday afternoon, come out and support the Canes and check them out. This is a huge game, by the way. I mean, an absolutely massive game here as Miami is fighting for a playoff spot. So head to MiamiHurricanes.com and grab a ticket. Come on out, bring the family. The fan zone that's right across from us where we broadcast is great. All sorts of sponsor activations, freebies. The QAM people are out there, the promo people, they got freebies. So
I was going to say, every time I'm going to the fan zone, people just leave with bags and bags of free stuff.
No, it's there's a lot of good freebies out there, man. It's definitely a lot of fun, a good time out there. So and if you are in the area, have nothing going on tomorrow, or you know what, you have something going on and it's just not good enough, come on out and enjoy some football. 954 says he got the free nuggets. Thanks for the heads up. I think I got screwed here. I must have gotten screwed because I don't have any nuggets on my I'm hitting like rewards menu.
You've opened, you
scan,
closed.
like there's all these different things. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, Jamie's got us.
Does it think I'm not local?
I'm not getting it either. We're getting
Jamie
right now.
Jamie's like Mr. friggin' hockey over here.
I see
man.
what's going on here.
Jamie's a junior Panther. He loves hockey. He goes to the games
right now. It's ridiculous.
He's wearing a Panther shirt right now. Like he's just
on.
Jamie got screwed.
I see what's
305 got the nuggets.
Uh-huh.
Just open the app. Nuggets for free.
So you and Jamie didn't get the nuggets.
We got hosed, man.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going
on here. Foul play on this one.
What if I hit redeem? View menu. Nope, nothing. All right. Well, anyway, if you haven't seen this, these nuggets are apparently free. So if you open up the Chick-fil-A app, maybe you get a nice little surprise here on your Football Friday. All right. Speaking of Football Friday, we're going to talk to Joe. He is out in Spain as the Miami Dolphins getting set to take on the Washington Commanders. The Dolphins may end up on a little winning streak here because they have 3 easy games coming up. I know nothing's easy. I know people want to lose. I know some people want to win. Some want Mike fired. Some want Tua out. The things have gotten messy here in Dolphin land, to say the least. But yeah, we got that coming up early Sunday morning. By the way, it's just perfect for me because the kids wake me up way earlier than that, so we'll sit around and watch the Dolphins early on Sunday morning. But we'll take a pause here. We'll get all caught up. Joe will join us from Spain next as we continue on here on QAM.
Tell you about Atlantic Men's Clinic.
Welcome back in here on QAM on this Football Friday. Hollywood, Dan Day along here with you, and it is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. We are going international here once again, and we are heading up to Spain. That is where we find Joe Rose. Joe, good afternoon, I guess, out there in Spain. How's it going?
It is good afternoon. I got to tell you, that's 6 hours difference. That's a little crazy, man, to get used to. It's nuts. My sleeping pattern was already screwed up, but man, it's really out of whack now. Anyway, how you guys doing? Okay,
we're good, man. We're good. I was wondering what you're going to be like when you roll in here fresh off that plane on Monday. You're going to be you able to sleep on the plane home, maybe, or
as long as it's not too bumpy. A little bumpy coming out here.
Oh boy.
A little bumpy, so I didn't get any sleep. But don't worry, I made up for it as soon as I got to that hotel.
All right.
It was good. It was a good sleep. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. When I get in, I think we get in around 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll be good to go.
I look forward to seeing you. All right, Joe. I don't know what the television situation is out there. I don't know if you were able to watch any of the Patriots. I don't even know what time that game would have aired over there. But the Pats won again, 8 straight for them. They continue to roll here. And Joe, they're looking like the best team in the AFC East. It is an incredible story. It kind of stings a little bit. They obviously had their dominant years with Brady, but it seems like the Pats are back and they got it rolling right now.
Well, the biggest thing is, I think everybody would tell you they think they got the right coach for the job, but also they think they got a franchise quarterback. And a lot of people think he might be the best young quarterback in the game. So yeah, they're in good shape. Yeah. How about waking up this morning before you get ready for this week, and the Patriots are at 9 wins and a couple of games out in front of the Buffalo Bills with a head-to-head win in Buffalo. Pretty impressive what they've done. Really good wins against Buffalo and Tampa Bay, and again got a nice little running game going. They hit a jackpot on a rookie running back, and everything's working. I got to tell you, when you get it figured out, man. When you get it figured out, when you got a lot of free agent money, and when you got to figure it out, when you have a good draft class, and then the draft class the year before, you see the development, all of a sudden you put that together, and the Patriots have been able to do it and speed up the process real quickly.
Someday here, Joe, someday. And
someday, I know. Yeah. Someday. Woody, I know, man. I
just to bring it back home, yeah.
Someday. Someday.
Speaking
of
the
Bills,
way,
I'm over here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go.
No, I just, people want to know, a lot of Dolphin fans over here, like, hey, what's the plan? What's the deal? What are we thinking? Do we have a chance to win this game? Can we get on a run? All the things. I said, look at it. They're going for, we're late in the year and they're trying to win their second straight game, and they're feeling real good because it's one of the biggest wins, honestly, Mike McDaniel's had since he's been here to beat this Buffalo Bills team. We'll see how they bounce back in Buffalo. But, and they're healthy. So, we don't have to hear about this guy's hurt and that guy's hurt. Austin Jackson, I don't know if he's going to play at right tackle, or it could be right after the bye week, which is next week. He'll be back for sure. If not, but they're pretty healthy, man. All these teams got 3, 4, 5 guys out, as you'll see this weekend, with a lot of guys banged up. And the Miami Dolphins not only won a game, but they didn't lose any players in that Buffalo game. And Chop Robinson will be back too. So a lot of good things for this team. And now we'll find out what personality shows up here in Madrid in a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Joe, the Dolphins going to have a real good chance to win the next 3, you would think, right? I mean, Commanders, Saints, Jets, the Jets are a mess. The Saints not very good, so they should, again, it's tough because they've looked, they looked really good in their couple wins recently, but they've also looked disastrously bad in some of their losses. The Browns game stands out, that Ravens game. So you just don't know which Dolphin team you're going to get from week to week. I think not just the lack of consistency, but the dramatic swings between what good Dolphins and bad Dolphins have looked like. It's such a polar opposite.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing. The good Dolphins are when they get the ball to Achan a lot, who's just having an unbelievable year and obviously motivated to get a new contract. He's now 4th in the league in rushing. Talked about yesterday. And they're also a lot better when Waddle's got 4, 5, 6 catches for close to 100 yards. And that's happened. And he's had some explosive, some big touchdown plays over the last few weeks, minus the Ravens game. But that's when they're at their best on one side of football with 2 of their best football players and 2 of them making sure he gets those guys the ball. But, man, I think you have a really good chance to throw for a lot of yards in this game and put up. The Washington Commanders have been absolutely blown out the last 4 games. You know, just doing this board, they've lost by 20-plus points in the last 4 games. Now, played a pretty good schedule. They're paying for success a year ago and how they ended up, but they've been getting their butts kicked pretty good, and with that, they've lost a lot of players. So, yeah, they should grab this game, but we'll see. I said that 2 or 3 times where I felt really good and, you know, looked like a dumbass. So we'll see.
Joe, missed you at the potluck dinner yesterday, but definitely passed along message.
Oh man, hey, did my wife end up showing up? I haven't talked to her. She said she was bringing some stuff and was really looking forward to spending time with her.
I think she showed us, Joe. I stayed. You know, I sat around and
she
stayed.
pulled a friggin' me and didn't show up. That's just. I'll talk to her about that.
They asked. They were like, is Joe coming? I said, well, he's in Spain. I said he wouldn't have came either way, but he's in Spain. So,
Joe,
this is the ball busting part of the show now.
Yeah.
Okay, I deserve that.
Joe, I do want to ask you this. This Dolphins team seems to be drastically different if they get up 7-0 in a game, simply 7-0. What kind of opens up for them when they get an early lead, something like that? Does it open up the offense? Does it open up the defense? What kind of changes the dynamic of the team when they get up by a touchdown early in a game?
Yeah, well, you're right. When they do go up 7-0 in the games on these drives, whether it's a first drive or a second drive, and they get a stop defensively like they did last week, right off the bat after the offense looked so bad in those first few plays with a penalty and a timeout and then an interception. It was a terrible start. And then, they just kind of flipped it around and really got their act together the rest of the game. So I just think, and by the way, Mike's big right now on if he can get the ball to start the game, he wants, and I'm guessing that'll be the game plan tomorrow against this Washington defense, which has been giving up a zillion yards. If you watch what the Lions did to them last week, they just crushed them, just scored at will. So I just think, right now, I think we've kind of switched our thinking on this thing, and I think they think it helps out the defense where they don't have to play with a lot of pressure if they can score and get their confidence early in the game and take the lead. So, I think it's really important to this team, and I don't mean 3 points. I mean taking it down the field. Mike's got, they got an idea of the plays they want to call. They've already been planned out, those first 10 plays, and that's usually when they're at their best with plays they want to get and matchups. By the way, how about this one? Jalen Waddle versus Noah Igbenogany, who's starting for the Commanders. How about that? How crazy is that? So they've lost a couple of corners, and he'll either play nickel or he'll start on the outside. But everybody got a kick out of that former first-round pick for the Miami Dolphins. Still in the league. Didn't work in Dallas and has been with the Commanders. So you'll see that name a lot on Sunday as well.
All right, Joe, I do want to get to some other games with you while we got you here, but if you can, really quick, just let us know, how do you think this game will unfold early Sunday morning here, 9:30 a.m. kickoff, local time, Dolphins and Commanders from Spain. How do you imagine this game will play out?
Off of the way they played, their health, winning that game they just won. If they can't win this game, I just expect them to. What was it? 2-point game, 2.5-point game, 3-point game, whatever. I just think they've got too much on both sides of the ball right now, and a lot of guys, young guys, playing well. I expect they're going to have a lot of success and win this game.
All right. I'm actually with you on that one. I think the Dolphins win this one. How about we talked about the Bills a little earlier, Joe? There's a scenario here for the Bills where things go very south for them, right? And they beat the Chiefs, everything was good. Then they get blown out by the Dolphins. Now they get the Bucks who come in. I know the Bucks are all sorts of banged up here, but they get the Bucks on Sunday here. They got the Texans on the road, the Steelers on the road, so things could go badly here for the Bills coming up. But do you think they have a chance to beat the Bucks this weekend?
I do. They're tough to beat at home. I think they're a two-personality team. I know New England did get them, but they're a different team with that crowd. You don't have to worry about 15, 20,000 Steeler fans getting tickets at that game. Those Bills fans will be there. And so I expect they'll bounce back, but they got a tough schedule. They've got a tough schedule, man. That's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough for them to catch the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buffalo, unless there's a cave here at the end of the year, and I know Buffalo still got to go to New England and play, but they got to be. I think a lot of people in that organization are thinking, let's grab a wild card here and make the best of this till we can upgrade some positions like wide receiver next year.
And at 4:25 on Sunday, Joe, the Broncos at 8-2. They're unbeaten at home. They're 5-0 at home. Are going to host the Chiefs, who are 5-4. They are 1-3 on the road. Kansas City, though, is favored by 3.5 points in this game. The Chiefs obviously need this one. We are looking at a strange scenario. You got the Ravens who are fighting to get back to 500. The Chiefs might end up at 500.
Great.
The Bills are starting to get closer and closer to 500. I mean, this thing is getting a little wild here in the AFC. All the teams we expected to be, so far out ahead of everything. Can the Chiefs go into Mile High, though, and get a win against this 8-2 Broncos team?
I think they can. Denver's been winning. They've won in some low-scoring games. They've been able to pull it out. Bo Nix has been able to pull them out late. But I think this is a little different animal. And if there's a team that is proven over the last 4 or 5 years that they can win on the road when they have to, it's Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs in that one to win.
All right, and let's shift it to college football here, Joe. Big one at Hard Rock tomorrow. 3:30 kickoff, Miami and NC State. The Canes obviously need this one to keep their playoff hopes alive. NC State's got a quarterback in CJ Bailey who's coming home. They're trying to get to bowl eligibility here. So there's a lot on the line for both sides here. Canes are favored by a couple of touchdowns. Can Miami get this win here and get on to those final 2 road games?
I think so. Hey, man, I'm looking for a fast start, though. This team desperately needs. I know they've been blown out Stanford and able to blow out a team last week, Syracuse, but they need to get off to a fast start in this game, get some confidence early on, and not come out with the same game plan. Let's mix it up a little bit. Get a passing game going early in this game. The running game will be there. I just like to see a little creativity early in this game.
All right, I'm with you on that one. See if the Canes get that done tomorrow, 3:30 at Hard Rock. All right, Joe. Enjoy your last couple of days up there. You and Big Bo got anything planned? Do any damage in the next couple of days?
Let me tell you, Big Bo has been CBSing, man. He is
wow.
He's been a working machine, and when they go to these practices with the media stuff and everything that they have to do, the teams had some pretty long days at their practice facility. So, they're getting after it pretty good. So anyway, hey man, I'll see you. I'll see you in a couple of days, and good luck to the Canes. Desperately need that game, man. Just win it in the big picture, and give those last 2 games on the road a chance. That's the most important thing. But you want to look impressive, like to get some confidence, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, Joe. Have a great call on Sunday. We'll see you Monday.
You guys take care. Thanks.
All right. Joe Rose, kind enough to join us here from Spain as we continue on here on a Football Friday. Don Bailey Jr., my guy, he's going to join us coming up here in about 20 minutes. Preview Miami and NC State. What do the Canes need to do to, like Joe said, get off to a better start here? Can't have one of those first halves against NC State, where you put up 3 points or 7 points or probably even 10 points. You're going to have to score against these guys.
This is the thing. NC State is very dynamic on offense, but they're absolutely horrific on defense.
Yep.
I know Georgia Tech's starting quarterback the other day, Hayes King, had 400 total yards himself.
Said the same thing about Syracuse, though.
Okay.
Said the same thing about Syracuse. Miami got off to a very slow start in that game. Hey, man, look, it's the Canes have been blessed with a very nice situation here, right? It's all in front of them once again, which, it felt bleak. It felt bad after the SMU game, but now all of a sudden it looks like the playoff is very much in reach, but you got to take care of your business. We'll take a pause. We'll come back. We'll talk about that one. We'll go around the NFL as well. Some good games coming up this weekend, and Mike Florio will join us in the 9 o'clock hour as we continue on this Football Friday.
All right. Hey, man, it's Truck
Welcome back in here on QAM. Sports Talk on QAM is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Hollywood, Dan Day along here with you. Trevor driving the program. Jamie is in there as well. The Nugget list, Jamie. I got mine, by the way. If you're a Panther fan and or if you're just a fan of chicken, you don't have to be necessarily a Panther fan, Dan. They got 30 saves last night, and that has activated this new promotion where you get 8 nuggets for free in the Chick-fil-A app. So mine worked. It took a little while there, but then it popped up all of a sudden. So we have nuggets now. Nuggetless Jamie in the other room. We feel terrible for him. It's probably because of that shot you took at Canes Hoops earlier with your
Yeah,
Gators,
I might have to quit sports radio forever, actually.
Yep. You didn't even say it right. You really just
That being
just
said,
botched the whole thing.
the Canes are in trouble against the Gators this weekend.
Well, hopefully it goes better than your football season has, Jamie. We'll just put.
Jamie, also the guy who told me before the season started, DJ Lagway is the truth. You told me.
Listen, you are talking about the defending national champions in the basketball side of things.
That's
so
true.
take your shots on the football team, but I mean, we're sitting over here with a banner. I don't see any Canes basketball banners over there at the Watsco Center. I don't know.
There is a banner hanging up there, Final Four banner that I like that banner very much. You leave us alone, Jamie. Leave us alone. Canes and Wolfpack tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium, 3:30. Don Bailey Jr. join us about 15 minutes from now. We'll preview that one. Joe stopped by just a little bit ago there. Seems like he's enjoying himself out in Spain, right? He seems to be having a nice time over there. I think Bo is ignoring him, though. It seems like Bo's neglecting him out there.
He's working,
doing his CBS stuff. Bo's press conferences have become the highlight of Dolphins season, though. Like, especially when they lose and Bo is just all feisty and firing off questions to those guys. I do enjoy a little Bo Camper press conference. This Broncos and Chiefs game, though, is so interesting. And that spread is like, I don't even know what to make of this one here, Dan. Like, Kansas City's, they're going on the road to play a Broncos team that has not lost at home. Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points. Now, again, this seems like it's desperation mode here for the Chiefs. Like, if they lose this game, they are 5-5. They would be 1-4 on the road if they lost this game.
Joe does bring up a good point, though. Some of the Broncos wins have been by a hair. Remember what they did to the New York Giants, where they had to score 33 points in the fourth quarter? They've had some last-second field goals. This is a divisional rival. This is Kansas City. They know the opponent. This is going to be a game where you could see if the Broncos win, they're for real. That's one of those things, like they're for real. But then you could also see Kansas City been there, done that, and they just go in there and get a win.
And then the Bills have the Bucks Sunday at 1:00. That's another very intriguing game because those are two teams. Like, remember Baker Mayfield, they said was the MVP for a little bit there. He's kind of fallen off. So the Bills are a strange one too, though, man. And you're right. We did this last year with the Bills. We wrote them off. I think the Bills were at 500, right, last year. And then they finished the season obviously very strong, ended up winning the division as they have for a while now. And so the Bucks are on top of the NFC South at 6-3. Panthers are nipping at their heels at 5-5. Not that the Panthers, I think, are any good, but
Panthers got smoked by the Saints this past weekend.
And then the Bills, the Patriots have a pretty comfortable lead right now, man.
Yeah,
9-2.
They can't give up the lead. I mean, even if the Bills finish strong, you got to feel as though the Patriots have enough to hold on.
Well, they're going to play the Patriots and Bills, but the Pats look really good now. This one stings, by the way. Out of all the things that sting in the NFL, as a Dolphin fan, this one really stings.
I know. And I'll say this is what really kind of, because I haven't watched the Patriots as much as maybe some people down in this market have. So I was at a place called George's in North Beach where I live, and they had on some network where they showed the games of the NFL games, but just highlights. I don't know what it is, but like they'll show the Patriots game and then they'll just show the highlights. And I was kind of halfway watching. I was like, man, that quarterback is good. I was like, wait, that's Drake May. I thought it was Mike Vrabel comes in there. He's got a system. Everybody does their part. It's the Bill Belichick way. This Drake May's extending plays. He's dropping dimes. I was like, oh no, this is not good, because now all of a sudden it's not just the Patriot way. They seem like they got some pretty good talent on that team too. Whoo, and their running back, that guy can go. If you saw him last night, Travion Henderson, 3
A
touchdowns.
little hat trick last night. They're plus 86, by the way, point differential on the season. The Pats, they've won 8 straight games. The Dolphins, by the way, are a minus 46 on the season. They have won 1 straight, though. So they're
a big one, though.
Trying for our first winning streak of this season here. The Bills are plus 51 on the year. The only teams that are better than New England are, and this is wild, Dan, the Colts and the Seahawks.
Wow.
The Colts, man. The Colts at 8-2. They're a plus 115 on the season. And the Seahawks, who are at 7-2, are plus 103.
I know the Colts are for real. We know that. They beat us bad. But, man, with that running game and Jonathan Taylor and then Danny Dimes or whatever you want to call him Indiana Jones, he's been, as a resurrection. They've got a good defense. They seem solid in a lot of different parts. But if Daniel Jones turns into the old Daniel Jones, you got to watch out.
So I wonder if Jonathan Taylor can actually win the MVP or if they just feel like they're going to have to give it to a quarterback. And Drake May is the front runner right now, right? If
new Tom Brady,
if they keep winning the way that they have been, and I don't, after watching them play last night, Dan, I don't see any reason why they would be slowing down here now. Their schedule the schedule for the Pats goes like this. They have the Bengals on the road, the Giants coming up. So you got 2 relatively easy ones here. Then you're going to host the Bills. You go at Baltimore, at the Jets, and then you host the Dolphins.
Ooh, crap!
In the final week of the season. So that's what the Patriots have in front of them here. So they should have a relatively easy finish.
They get the Bengals before
season.
Joe Burrow. Before Joe Burrow gets back.
No reason why. You would think they don't end up winning the AFC East here, but hey, man, look, I'll give it to they were the hot pick going into this season. A lot of people said they were going to be a whole heck of a lot better, although they've been saying that about them for a while, but now it has finally come to fruition here.
So they basically have a 2-game lead, although they still play the Bills, a 2-game lead over the Bills, 11 games in, but the Bills do get 1 game with them, but man, that's going to be hard to give up the lead. You'd have to fall apart.
Yeah, they really would. And here's the thing, man. I don't know. Are the Bills even going to make the playoffs at this point, right? They have some tough games ahead of them. A few texts coming in here this morning, 305-567-0560 is how you reach us on there. Someone going back to the topic we were talking about earlier. Under Armour shoes are the most comfortable and efficient and long-lasting shoes money can buy, the best value available. I have a few. I like Under Armour, and they lost Steph Curry, so that was a dicey one here for Under Armour losing Steph. Under Armour may end up going out of business. By the way, when this thing's all said and done here, I know their business has been struggling. The whole apparel business is not going well. Because I always thought there's a lot of issues going on.
You wear the Under Armour. You wore the
I do like Under
tight
Armour stuff. No, I don't wear the compression stuff.
You don't wear it? Okay.
As you can see, everything
when you're
is nice
coaching
and
the
baggy.
kids, basketball?
Everything's nice and baggy for me, man. Nope. No. But I do like their stuff. But yeah, they lost Steph Curry yesterday.
Ooh.
So if you're in the sports business stuff, Steph Curry is now a free agent for his sneaker
If you believe
brand.
Steph Curry, the reason he picked Under Armour is because his daughter, he just put out a bunch of products and she chose Under Armour. That's what he says.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's interesting. I happen to be big Steph Curry fan.
Oh, of course.
He's a very likable player.
What brand is LeBron on? Is he
LeBron
Nike?
is Nike for life.
Nike for life.
He'll be Nike for life. Maybe New Balance will make a play out of New Balance. Got Shohei Ohtani and Cooper Flag, so they've been doing
Coco Golf. I see that.
I have a couple pairs of those shoes. Those are okay. I won't wear New Balance clothes. Like I'm not gonna wear a shirt that just says New Balance across the middle. But they do make some nice stuff. The nice shoes as well. All right. No more talk about shoes here. We're going to jump into Don Bailey Jr. as we get set for Miami and NC State. We're going to have our pregame starting at 11:30. Final time, be out there at Hard Rock Stadium with Monroe. Might be some tears shed out there, but Miami's got a lot of work left to do. We'll talk to the Canes color analyst, Don Bailey Jr., when we come back on QAM.
First, I want to talk about Michael.
it here on this Football Friday on QAM. Heading back out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. I'm going to talk to a man who I know is fired up for the home finale coming up tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium. He is the Canes radio analyst. Don Bailey Jr. is with us here on Football Friday. DBJ, how goes it, my friend?
How are you guys? Two of my favorite people. What's going on?
That. We appreciate that, DBJ. That's very nice of you. By the way, we're going to have a much friendlier pregame show coming up on tomorrow. Everything's just going to be, all friendly because we're coming off a nice win over Syracuse. Now, with that being said, too, DBJ, got to get off to a better start here against this NC State team. This is a good team that is coming in here that put up a lot of yards a week ago. Miami's defense should have their hands full on Saturday afternoon.
Well, yeah, and I think if it's going to be a heck of a ball game. I think if you're looking for, a ton of excitement early on, I don't know if it's going to happen because you've got a well-coached team coming in here at North Carolina State. I mean, they've got a couple defensive tackles that are remind me of the two guys from MSU and SMU, excuse me. And it's going to be an interesting game, Hollywood. It really is. This team falls somewhere to me between Louisville and SMU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got a lot of the same characteristics. If you combine those two teams, I think you come up with what you're going to face on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do think this will be a good game here, Don. And, with that being said, look, Miami is in a situation now, and we can look ahead, right? That's what we do here on the radio. And, I think it's, the playoff committee, kind of left it that, hey, if you guys win your last 3 games, you're going to have a pretty good shot to get into this dance here, into this playoff. I know, again, Miami cannot look ahead, Don. How are they treating this, though? They must know the situation here. You got to win the last 3. How do they go about keeping the focus and making sure that, hey, this is 1 week at a time here in these final 3 games?
Well, I think you just, you're right. Everybody does look ahead, but just look ahead, just like you said. You have to do this, right? There's not like a loophole to how to get to the playoffs or put yourself really in a position to get to the playoffs. It's you have to beat this team, you have to beat the next one, and you have to beat the next one. So it's NC State, and then you're going to have to go to Virginia Tech, and that is, I don't care what anybody tells me. I've been there probably 10 or 12, 15, I don't know how many times, and it's never easy there, ever. And it won't be easy this time. And then really one of the hottest team in the conference, of course, was Georgia Tech, and North Carolina State beat the heck out of them 2 weeks ago. I mean, that score kind of looks a little close, but it was an 18-point game until 4 minutes to go, or 17-point game with 4 minutes to go. So it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But if you're able to take care of business, you will probably be in a position to go to the playoffs or the ACC championship game. Probably the playoffs look easier than the ACC championship game.
DBJ, to your point, NC State can be explosive on offense, and I love their quarterback, CJ Bailey, who's actually from down here in South Florida. And it's going to get a little tougher because we know now the Canes are going to be without probably their best secondary member in Keontae Scott. What are they going to do to kind of counteract that and kind of give him some problems and make this NC State offense somewhat grounded? And how are they going to change things up with Keontae Scott out of the lineup?
Well, I don't know what the deal is for sure with Keontae Scott. But I will tell you, let's say Miami's at full force. When you're dealing with a quarterback of the magnitude of CJ Bailey, the best way to affect them is to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, everybody wants to talk about you can do this, you can do that, and we can show this and we can show that. We'll use this coverage. Hit the guy. Just keep hitting him. If you can get to him, every quarterback is affected when they get hit. I don't care who you're talking about. I really don't. You hit them enough times, most of them, I'd say 90% of them are affected by that. So you get to them and you pressure them. And the other thing that Miami's going to have to be concerned with, and I don't think people talked about it enough this last week with NC State, is their run game. I mean, they had their backup against the number 8 team in America 2 weeks ago had 196 yards. And the reason he was in the game is their starter, who's leading the conference, even after being out a week, was injured. So they've got, arguably as good a 1-2 punch in the running game as there is. So that's going to be something that Coach Heatherman's done a good job with that all season long, being able to control anybody's rushing attack. But now you've got a situation where they've got a competent running game and a quarterback that's been very, very successful this year. So it's going to be a heck of a challenge.
Don, I got to tell you, all right, I'm going to admit this to you, that I think you might be on to something with this whole turnover thing that you and Joe have been talking about all season long here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you might be on to something. I do think that could be a factor, not just in this game, but I do think the rest of the way this season, as Miami, they have to play as perfect as possible. They got to win the turnover margin in these last three.
I agree with you, and it'll even get more important, Danny, if Miami gets into the playoffs. But there's no question about it. And then you throw in, I think that what's happened in college football, I don't know if you want to say the last 5 years or 8 years, whatever it is that the explosive play. And if you can, the explosive play can either offset or enhance the turnover. If you're turning the football over and you come up with explosive plays that lead to points, those will sometimes offset each other. But if you win both of those categories, forget it. It's almost impossible, if you look at the numbers statistically, to lose a game. So I just think that I'll take the turnover first, and then I'll take the explosive play. And having C.J. Daniel back, that's a big help for Miami. And it'll be interesting to see, with the pressure that he takes off of everybody else, because it's good to have a guy that's got that much experience.
With that being said, do you see the Hurricanes game plan on offense going for that big explosive play early in the game, or more of the chip away and wear the team down? Do you think that they're really going to go for it, or just kind of stay the course?
I don't think NC State's going to let them go for it. I think they're going to do the same thing that Syracuse did. They're just going to put an umbrella on this offense and make Miami be patient. Why would you tempt Miami to have an explosive play? I wouldn't tempt them. They've got it if it's there. But you can't, if you start trying to force that, that's when you lead yourself into trouble with interceptions. So I think that's why I said you're going to have some patience in this game. You have to have some patience in the stands. You're going to have some patience on the sideline, because their coach, Dave Doran's one of the best coaches, I think, for sure in the conference. And maybe he's probably one of the most underrated guys in the country. He's a defensive guy, and they are playing, their secondary has been beat up with injuries. But the front seven does a very good job, and they're not going to put themselves in a position to allow Miami to be explosive, I don't think, early. That doesn't mean you can't manipulate them and come up with some big plays, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because NC State's going to bet the bank that we're not going to let it happen.
Don, we're out of time, unfortunately. I had this question all teed up for you about the offensive line I was going to ask you about, but we're out of time here this morning.
Well, you can ask me, what's it going to be like without Inez Cooper going out for senior day today, and on Saturday, and Markel Bell. I'm going to miss those guys. That you can ask me about.
Absolutely. We'll definitely get to that tomorrow. We're going to get rolling at 11:30 out there at Hard Rock. Can you believe, by the way, Don, it's the final home game?
No, I can't.
Crazy, right?
It's like all of a sudden I can't believe it. It's Thanksgiving, right? It's Thanksgiving soon. So, the season has flown by. It's been fun. It's been interesting. And thank God we still got a month or so left.
Yes, sir. We absolutely do. All right, DBJ, I'll see you out there tomorrow. Look forward to it.
And you guys are doing a great job filling in for Joe Rose.
Thank you. Joe's been doing a lot of partying out there in Spain. I don't know if you've heard his appearances here with us.
I have. Good for him. He deserves a good party.
He does deserve a good party. All right, DBJ. We'll have a party out there tomorrow. Guys. I'll see you out there. All right, Don Bailey Jr. here with us on QAM. We got countdown to kickoff. Start at 11:30. We'll have Don Bailey be there with us. My co-host Brian Monroe will be with me. Always fun to get the crew. Josh Darrow will be with us.
Chirinos.
Yeah, Christy Chirinos with us. So yeah, we'll have fun out there for the final home game. And if you're making it out there, come say hi to us. We'll be hanging out right next to the team store across from that fan zone. So it should be a lot of fun as the Canes wrap up the home season tomorrow. Still a long way to go in this one, though, as you heard DBJ say right there. All right, we're going to take a pause. Mike Florio is going to join us. Maybe give you some picks here. Joe usually gives his picks on a Friday. We'll if you missed Joe earlier, we'll run him for you at the end of the show. He'll give you his take on how the Dolphins can get the W in Spain over the Commanders. But we'll give you some of our picks as we continue on here. And Mike Florio will join us 9 o'clock hour on this Football Friday is next.
I want to tell you about Dr. Barry and his staff.
Good morning. Your sports headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito at our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Kia at Doral or DoralKia.com. NFL Thursday Night Football last night, Jets and Patriots. Patriots won 27-14. Miami Dolphins playing Madrid, Spain versus the Washington Commanders. And game day on Sunday starts at 7 a.m. on Sunday. The Florida Panthers played last night. They won 6-3 over the Washington Capitals. NBA, the Heat did not play last night, but they play Friday night at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden for some NBA Cup action between the New York Knicks. Pregame starts at 6:30. Miami Hurricanes football plays Saturday afternoon at 3:30. 3:30. Countdown to kickoff begins at 11:30. In the Major League Baseball, Aaron Judge was named AL MVP and Shohei Ohtani named NL MVP. The Joe Rose Show continues now.
All right, welcome back in here on QAM, 9 o'clock hour on a Friday. Hollywood and Dan Day along here with you. We do have Heat tickets to give away. Heat and Knicks coming up Monday at the Kaseya Center. I almost had my arenas confused at the Kaseya Center. I had the Panthers on my mind because the Panthers won last night, and the Panthers had 30 saves in the game. So if you open up your Chick-fil-A app this morning, this is a new promotion. I just learned about this morning.
Dan, you can go on the fast food.
I'm very excited about this.
You can go on this fast food bender if the Heat get a win too tonight, because then next day you get free half price Papa John's.
Half price Papa John's.
So chicken nuggets for free today, and then hopefully tomorrow maybe a half price Papa John's.
Yeah, and then we'll see if I can make it into work on Monday. That'll be the fun challenge here we have, Dan. So I'll just that's what I'll do. I'll pound that all weekend, and we'll see. But if you could open up the Chick-fil-A app this morning, and everyone gets free nuggets except for Jamie.
Sorry,
everyone
Jamie.
but Jamie.
Everyone.
Sorry, Jamie. So we'll do this. Trevor, can we give it? Are you ready? Do you have the contesting stuff ready to go, or are you not capable of that?
They still haven't given it to me yet, but we'll do it anyway.
So you are not capable of that. So we'll do it towards the end of the segment. All right, you'll take the info. All right, that'll work.
Old school.
So let's do this, Dan. We've done trivia all week long. 305-567-0560 is how you win the tickets here. This former Knick, so we've talked about Knicks that are involved in the rivalry. This former Knick has had some trouble with Knicks ownership and has been involved in an 8-year-long legal battle with Madison Square Garden and its owners. He was thrown out of the arena in February 2017. This former Knick owes Madison Square Garden $642,000 in legal fees. Name that former Knick, and you're going to Heat Knicks. So you notice every Knick question has been negative towards the Knicks.
They haven't won a championship since what, 73, something like that. So,
the last time I was at a Heat Knicks game was, I want to say it was like last year, and I'm standing in line to get my son a drink, and one of these guys, they're in New York, so they're wearing Knicks jerseys behind us, and they go, "Wow, beer here's $18. That's incredible. That beer is $30 at the Garden." I go, "Yeah, everything's just better and more expensive in New York, right?
Absolutely.
It's just everything's better, right?" But yet they come down. Everyone seems to keep coming down here from New York.
I've had them say, "I refuse to eat pizza down here. Pizza in South Florida is not real pizza. Only in New York."
No, nothing is good here, but except the living, apparently.
Oh, of course.
I will say this though. I love Madison Square Garden. It is my favorite arena to visit in the country. I just love everything about that place. I think it's such a cool place.
One thing you don't love about Madison Square Garden, that time you got taken for tickets.
I did. I got fleeced for $20 outside of the Garden. This is when I went up last year with Canes basketball. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way, Dan.
Feel Good Friday.
On this, we're almost to the weekend here, and you had to bring this up. But yes, last time I went to the Garden, I was with the Canes basketball team, so I just went, walking around the city, and I'm passing by the Garden. The Rangers were playing, and it was the third period of the game. And so I looked at my phone. I saw third period. Okay, there's a guy outside. He's selling tickets. Now there are signs all over the place, that say no paper tickets, digital tickets only. I, for some reason, reached into my wallet. Now, I don't usually carry cash. I just happen to have a 20 on me.
Perfect storm.
And the guy sells me this great seat. And I look at the ticket, and sure enough, it's got the game printed on there. It's got the right date. This is it looks like a legit ticket. I buy the ticket for $20. So, all right, I'll catch a third period, whatever, 20 bucks. I walk up to the doors of the Garden, and they look at me like, they were like, there's 900 signs outside that say no paper tickets. And I presented them with a paper ticket, and they said, you cannot enter with this ticket. It's, not a real ticket.
And here's where the story gets even worse.
They didn't let me keep the ticket as a souvenir. They took it from me. They didn't even let me keep the ticket as a souvenir. So I got really screwed there. That was a tough one. Someone says Huey Magoo's buy a 3-tender meal, get one free with a Panther win also.
That's true.
My God, man, we're gonna be just rolling in free food here. If the the Cats do a lot of winning. And the Heat are doing a lot of winning.
You're gonna have to hit the JCC hard.
So yeah, man, I might have to hit the gym because we're gonna be doing a lot of winning down here with those two teams. I gotta tell you, I love this Heat basketball team. I am finding them so enjoyable to watch. Norman Powell's the steal of the league right now.
I don't see why the Clippers. I mean, they didn't want to lose them and get nothing in return. But goodness,
yeah, man,
the
Clippers are not a very well-ran franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't they going through? Didn't they scam? Like the way they paid Kawhi Leonard, didn't like a fake tree company pay for a bunch of Kawhi Leonard's salary or something? So it's what a mess the Clippers are. What Trevor's saying something about
we got a winner, by the way. We have a winner.
Congratulations. Who won?
Keith Burns from North Lauderdale, Florida.
Excellent. Charles Oakley, by the way, was the answer to that question.
Thank you,
Charles Oakley. Good job there. All right, so we do have a winner. We're going to get to Mike Florio in a couple of minutes from now. And go over everything going on in the NFL. Florio's big on these gambling stories, by the way. So I'm going to ask him about that. Just tee him up with that because the NFL apparently sent out another memo to their teams about, prop bets. And, look, I enjoy the Hard Rock app. I find it a great form of entertainment. I love playing on it. With that being said, I have no visions of making a living off of doing it. I don't think I'm going to take them down, although I almost took them down with that, prop bet thing the other day. They had like a thing on the top there, and it was like 3 different players to score the first touchdown. And it was like I put $1 and win like 130, and I won.
Wow.
So I felt like I took my chunk of their real estate with that one. But I just don't buy into this like theory of it's everywhere now. So guys should be, guys are shaving points because of that. Like, no, man, I don't. I think if anything, and I think the best thing you could do for it is to continue to legalize and to continue to regulate it. And, like I told you, I heard the DraftKings CEO, Jason Robinson, on his, the earnings call or whatever. And he was talking about, and he goes, the best thing you could possibly do is to regulate it because DraftKings has to report irregularities, and they will report irregularities. Yes. All the big companies will. Whew. Now, the guys taking the book, the bets off overseas or wherever those companies are based out of, not so much. Your local bookie, he doesn't have to report to the FBI if something isn't right.
DraftKings isn't going to come to Terry Rozier, for example, and say, you need to fix this game. Now, the unregulated guys or girls might come to Terry Rozier, just saying theoretically, and say, you need to fix this game. So the devil is better than the devil you don't. So
I'm with you, man.
I'm all for the regulation.
I'm with you, and we can't we're not going to go back in time and say that everything that people are hooked on or we're going to make illegal, right?
No,
I mean, we're not going to go back in time and do that. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. I think that seems to be the take in the gambling industry, and we'll talk to Mike Florio when we come back. We'll find out what he thinks about it. We'll also get his take on the Patriots. The Dolphins pounding the Bills. Can they keep it going in Spain? And speaking of the Bills have a tough little road ahead here. And the Chiefs in Denver to play the Broncos. The Chiefs could fall to 500 if they lose this game. So a lot of NFL stuff to get to with Mike Florio. He joins us next on QAM.
Want to tell you about my friends at Era.
It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com, where we are joined by Pro Football Talks Mike Florio, as we always are here on Fridays. Mike, thank you for the time. As always, appreciate it. How are you doing?
Doing great. I assume that Joe has made his way to Madrid.
Joe and Bo Camp are very popular people over there, apparently in Spain. He's all over the place, doing a lot of drinking from what I hear too, but they're very popular over there.
Well, I can imagine, and I think the NFL is popular pretty much anywhere that the NFL decides to play games at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And I want to jump into one of the things that clearly has helped the popularity of the NFL, and that is this gambling stuff. And you put out another article about the NFL sending out a memo regarding prop bets, and this just seems like it is snowballing here for sports in general, right? And we had another story come out recently, the baseball stuff, another issue with gambling. Is the answer to all of this, Mike, simply that it needs to be legal everywhere and regulated? Like, would that be the fix to this to help catch these people that are doing this? Because I think the more it happens under the table, the tougher it's going to be to weed these people out.
Well, look, that's a common talking point from the industry because they want it to be legal everywhere. Mm-hmm. They want money that's otherwise going to the bookies and that for years had gone to the underworld operations. They want as much of it as they can. But here's the reality. And I'll explain my position from the perspective of the prop bet. Because I hate prop bets. I think they're the crack cocaine of gambling. They package them together in these can't lose three-way parlays that over time you can't win. They love the three-leg parlay because the three-leg parlay, number one, it's like flipping a coin three times and having it come up heads. And number two, it's never priced the way that it should be. The odds are always worse, or at least seemingly always worse for the consumer than they should be. When it comes to the potential for rigging bets, the prop bets are the ones that are the most dangerous because you can have a Terry Rozier who allegedly plans to leave a game early and allegedly tells friends about it and allegedly exits the game after bets have been placed on it. There's greater chance for abuse when it comes to the bets when you've got one person who can control the outcome of the bet. In football, for example, who can really throw a game? Who can cause a team to lose a game? Who's going to have the opportunity to single-handedly turn a victory into a defeat or keep the spread from being covered? It's going to be too conspicuous. It's going to be too difficult for one person. Prop bet, that's where it becomes a problem, and that's where inside information can be misused, and that's part of what we've seen in the various controversies and scandals that have emerged. Micro betting in baseball with pitch by pitch. So I just I accidentally throw a wild pitch, and that prop bet that my next pitch was going to be a ball hit. That's the problem with prop bets. And the whole idea that, well, let's just keep it legal and regulated. Let's look at it this way. If we remove prop bets from the menu of wagers that are currently available legally in 39 states in the District of Columbia, okay, the argument is, oh, well, you're going to find a bookie and make his prop bets. No. We're far too lazy to do that. We're going to make bets based upon the bets that are available on our phones, legally, efficiently, and without having to deal with the guy who has one eyebrow and a thick gold chain. That's how it's going to go. The fear of doing something illegal is going to keep people from rushing to the local bookies to make their prop bets. They'll just bet on something else. They'll bet on East German table tennis. And I know East Germany's been gone for 35 years, but it just sounded good coming out. So that's the flaw in all this. But the reason that you said what you said, and I'm not accusing you, I'm just saying that's a common industry talking point because they want these prop bets. They want these three prop bet parlays because they make a ton of money off of it. But they also don't want it to be abused because they're actually the victims. The consumer isn't the victim of the Terry Rozier, Jonte Porter, Cleveland Guardians pitchers thing. The sports books are the only victims.
Mike, I'll be up front with you. I got that. I heard that from the CEO of DraftKings on his earnings call. I thought it made sense.
There you go.
It seemed to make sense at the time.
Yeah. but no, that's okay. It's okay. But that's why they look. And I'm one of the rare voices in media, and it's probably going to end my media career sooner than it otherwise would have naturally ended because everybody's nest is feathered now, directly or indirectly by gambling money. I have no deal with any sports book. I have no direct payments from any sports book, but I'm sure NBC partially justifies what they pay to ProFootballTalk.com and to me directly by the money that they get from DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's got to stand up and tell the truth about this stuff. And the truth is, I realized this when I was 20 years old. I was in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, and I walked into Harrah's Casino, and I looked around. And I was like, damn, it's nice in here. And damn, I know who paid for it. And it ain't going to be me. And and my dad was a bookie too. And he always told me, you can't win, you can't win, you can't win. And he kind of hammered that point into my head when I was a kid. And yeah, I mean, look, for the sports books to be multi-billion-dollar companies, where's the money coming from? Where's it coming from? It's not coming from great investments they're making. It's coming out of our pockets. And we all need to understand that this vague idea that they sell in the advertising that you can win, maybe a little, but they're going to win over the long haul. They wouldn't be multi-billion-dollar businesses if they weren't winning over the long haul. And I only say that because people need to gamble with the idea that it's entertainment. That's it.
Yes.
It's entertainment. And I'm going to carve off money that I otherwise would spend on cigarettes or booze or going to the movies or getting a new pair of shoes or whatever. It can't be, I need to make my rent. It can't be, I'm going to pay off my debt. It can't be, I'm going to get rich. That's the delusion. But the industry benefits from people having that delusion. That's the problem. And that's the conversation we need to have, not whether or not we should have prop bets. Should the public be better informed and better educated and better warned? Is it enough to put the 800 number at the bottom of the screen, or does there need to be meaningful education? All these kids, look, I'll shut up after this, but this is an important point. I got a nephew that turned 21 this summer. And as his birthday approached, he wasn't counting the days because it meant he could go have a cigarette or a cigar or a drink. He's had a fake ID for years. No. And I hope I didn't get him in trouble. I hope the statute of limitations is run. No. He was waiting to turn 21 because that was when his phone would allow him to download the apps and start gambling. That was the only reason he was anxious to turn 21. And that's just a dangerous dynamic.
We could probably talk about this topic all day long, Mike. It's certainly.
Don't you wish you hadn't brought it up?
No,
I
appreciate. I do appreciate your take on it. I everyone's got their own thing. I happen to enjoy all this stuff as an entertainment deal, and I certainly know I'm not going to make any money off of it, but there's too many
that don't. There's too many that don't. That's the problem. There's too many that think it's going to solve their financial problems or it's going to make them rich. There's this false idea that you could be the one who wins.
That usually does not happen, Mike. I do want to jump into some of these games here, and I got to start with our division here, the AFC East, and boy, this thing is looking all New England right now. They win again last night, and they quietly here have become the talk of the NFL. They seem to be the real deal, and they seem to have found their quarterback in Drake May, who was all of a sudden here an MVP candidate. The Bills does not seem like they are going to catch them. Is this the Patriots' year? Are they going to cruise to an AFC East title here?
Well, it sure looks like it. At 9-2, 8 wins in a row, and the 2 games they lost, they should have won. You know, last year the strangest outcome of the season when we got down to Week 18 was that the Patriots, who otherwise went 3-13, beat the Bengals in Cincinnati Week 1, and that one loss enough to keep the Bengals out of the playoffs. This year we're going to say, how did the Raiders beat the Patriots? If the Patriots don't get the 1 seed by 1 game, that loss to the Raiders is going to be glaring, as is and will be the loss to the Steelers in Week 3 when they had, I think the official number is 27 turnovers against the Steelers that day and still had a chance to win the game. So, yeah, the Patriots look legitimate, and they've capitalized on having a scheduling formula this year that gave them a bunch of winnable games. I remember back before the season when and here we go back to gambling, but I'm always curious about the lines and what the perception is on which teams are going to win and lose. The Patriots had like an over-under win total for the season of 6.5, I believe, but they were favored to win 11 games. If you go game by game, line by line, it's like, you know what? They got a schedule here that could work to their advantage. And they have enough players left over. They've made enough moves in the offseason. And, oh, by the way, Mike Vrabel's a good coach who never should have been fired by the Tennessee Titans. But dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things, and here we are. And it's all lined up perfectly for the Patriots. Now, it's going to make the bar a lot higher next year, but they'll worry about next year when next year comes. For now, they're in position to not just win the division, but be the 1 seed, force teams to come to Foxborough in January and try to deal with that. You got a dome team in the Colts. You got, the Broncos are used to playing outdoors, so maybe that won't be an issue, but they could get a hell of an advantage if they can end up with the number 1 seed. And I think their biggest fear would be crossing paths with the Bills again in the playoffs. When you've had a really great season, the last team I believe you want to see in the postseason is a team from your division because, number 1, they're not intimidated by you. Number 2, they're used to playing you. And number 3, they'd love nothing more than to be the pin that pops that balloon of your special season.
Well, Mike, we know the Patriots are playing well. The Bills, they are seemingly in a little bit of trouble here. They got a tough schedule coming up, and I don't know what happened on Sunday, but the Dolphins put it on them. And the Dolphins have been all over the map here. They have been really good. They've been really bad. I don't know what team we're going to get on Sunday, but they put together one heck of a performance against the Bills.
Oh, it was incredible. I couldn't believe it as I was seeing it. I'm sure the Bills couldn't believe it either. And at some point, and I know that people who are employed in significant positions by the Buffalo Bills get very anxious when this topic comes up, but at what point do we have the conversation about whether or not the Bills need to make major changes in order to get the most out of the remaining years of Josh Allen's prime? This is year 8 of his career. They're in the window. And, it's a constant debate. Chris Sims and I go over this on PFT Live from time to time. Is it the coach not getting enough out of the available talent? Is it the GM not providing the coach with enough talent? Will it even matter? I'm a big believer in being fully functional and not giving one guy or the other reason to believe I can blame it on him. No, I can blame it on him. No, we blame it on everyone and we start over again. But when will Terry Pegula decide I need to make a change here? And will he feel compelled to make a change? Because let's face it, they're opening a new stadium next year. It's going to be sold out. He's going to make his money. That's the one big thing that never gets discussed, or at least doesn't get discussed the way it should. All these teams are like, we want to win the Super Bowl. If that's your measure of success, you're going to be pissed off all the time. How about you just count your money? Because they're all winning in that regard. And the question is, how much is Terry Pegula going to tolerate with a team that is competitive but not a Super Bowl team? And I don't know if they would miss the playoffs this year or be a wild card and have to go on the road. I don't know. But that topic has to at least move toward the front burner if they can't turn it around. And there's a lot of great games this weekend. I don't know why they don't flex Thursday and Monday in the middle of November. And if you're not going to have flexing available, you better not put teams like the Jets and Raiders in prime time, because I think we had an inkling in May that they were both going to not be very good. I mean, there are great games. There's a 4:05 p.m. Eastern game on Sunday. Seahawks-Rams is one of the best games of the weekend, and it's tucked into that regional window. It's ridiculous.
Well, Mike, I'll leave you on this one. You think the Dolphins have a shot to extend this? I guess it'd be their first win streak to get this thing to 2. And they do have some easy games coming up here. They get the Saints and the Jets as well. Do the Dolphins start rattling off some wins here?
I think we need to take into account the reality that the Commanders are demoralized right now. And the Commanders, what are they really doing? They're not going to make the playoffs, right? It's going to take a miracle at this point. And here's something that I'm currently working on at PFT, because NBC Sports Research puts together a great little packet of notes on all of the games coming up in the coming weekend. The Washington Commanders have lost 4 straight games by 20 or more points. They are one short of the all-time record for losing games by 20 or more points. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers of 1986 did that back when they were the Yuccaneers. And it just shows you where they are right now. They don't have their starting quarterback. You got a lot of older players. They should have, I believe, traded Von Miller, Deebo Samuel, Bobby Wagner. It's make vacation plans time of the year for these guys. And it's not, and I'm not being critical. I'm just trying to understand human nature. So I think the Dolphins have a lot more to play for, to the extent that they're trying to avoid major changes next year and maybe save Mike McDaniel. The Commanders aren't really playing for anything. So I expect the Dolphins to win that game.
Mike, sounds good. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you for the time as always.
All right, see you, man.
All right, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, as the Dolphins in Spain getting set to take on the Washington Commanders. A man who is in Spain, Joe Rose. He's going to give us his take on what the Dolphins can do to get the win out there and keep this Wow. Okay, we calling it a win streak? We call it a win streak, Dan. Officially keep this thing going. Joe Rose will join us next here on this Football Friday.
Tell you about Atlantic Men's Clinic. And